Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
I love what Dustin Fox just said. Aren't we close to getting rid of baseball umpires?
You know, I do think this ABS system overall is showing that the umpires, for the most part, do a great job.
54% of the pitchers and catchers challenges have been correct, which means the umpire's getting it right about half the time.
On the controversial calls.
On the controversial calls. Hitters' challenges are even less, 48%.
Right. Yeah.
If you're just joining us and you didn't watch the World Baseball Classic last night, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Phenomenal baseball game.
It's been great.
It felt like a World Series game to me.
The attendance has shot up every year.
Big time.
And it's, the casual fan, especially I think a lot of older fans, are like, who cares about this, blah, 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 blah. But the players love it.
Players are definitely
and
more
younger
involved.
Fans like it. And, you get, like, the Cubs had a player on the Japan team who got hurt the other day. I don't know how serious it is. That's the downfall.
Sure, yeah.
But you can get hurt in spring training, too.
I
know it's more intense. This is a lot more intense.
You know what I'm curious to watch to see what happens now? Severino pitched for Dominican Republic. By the way, Team USA won 2-1 over DR, if you didn't watch it. They advanced to the championship game. They'll play the winner of Italy,
Venezuela.
And Venezuela. Should be a great game tonight.
Is
and
this
then
in
the
Puerto
championship
Rico,
game's Tuesday.
No, it's in Florida.
Oh, it's
Miami.
in Florida?
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to Miami tomorrow.
Yeah, you should
go to the game.
Tomorrow's
my
the championship.
Goodness. Get tickets. Go to the game. I've been to a Puerto Rico USA World Baseball Classic game in Miami. The atmosphere is off the chart.
Yeah.
What are the tickets are going for?
Look at it. This a lot.
Oh,
But still, check. You might get some.
You've got some connections.
Here's the way I would describe it. World Cup soccer game meets high leverage baseball playoff game, because when there is a Dominican team or like Venezuela, you get the soccer type feel with the crowd. You know how they make the drums and the noisemakers and the chants. It is a great atmosphere.
And there's been some crazy stories, because you had Jose Contreras' son pitching, and he was a high school kid. He struck out Aaron Judge. I mean, it was.
Bazana played for Australia. Yeah. Bo Naylor hit a huge home run for Canada in a losing effort against USA Friday night. But anyhow,
it's been a good tournament.
The big thing yesterday was the ABS system is not in World Baseball Classic.
Right.
And there were two really bad calls in the ninth inning that went against the Dominican Republic, including a full count strike 3 call at the end of the game. That was not a strike. It should have put runners at first and third with 2 outs, and another good stick coming to the plate for Dominican Republic.
Or I can't remember now.
Well, everybody in their lineup is great.
Yeah. Well, and the ABS system, for those who know, it's new this year. If you watch spring training at all, it's there. Players can challenge the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter can challenge, or the manager can challenge.
And they get it right. And it takes 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's fun because in the stadium, they show it on the board. At some of the spring training games that I was at last week, they put it up there.
Welcome to Tennis World.
You know what?
Well, they use the same system.
And they got it. And they got it right, just like tennis does.
The great thing about tennis, I always loved it about tennis, is like, even if no matter if it's a close call, they show you on the replay, which is exciting, and for
gives
fans,
you another moment of drama.
100%.
I was at the first time I saw it, I was U.S. Open, and I'd never seen it. I was anxious to see what the atmosphere was inside the stadium. And it really is like another high leverage play. And in that moment, everybody puts their phones down, and everybody's looking, and then it comes slow, and then you see the ball hit, and then everybody cheers, and then on you go. And it's quick, really quick.
So fast.
Much better than football.
But the Dominican and Japan, who America obviously lost to in the championship last time, those are probably the 2 best teams along with America.
Yeah, I agree.
So in the championship, they'll be a pretty big favorite, even though they lost to Italy. That's their only loss.
Italy
and Venezuela's pretty good, but they're not as good as the Dominican.
Has Italy lost? I think they're undefeated.
No, they have not lost.
Undefeated.
So they would get it'd be a nice chance at revenge.
Led by Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah.
Now
and their espresso machine.
And Francisco Cervelli.
It's funny. Yeah. Rocchio got called. Did you see Rocchio's going?
I did not see that.
Rocchio is going to play with Team Italy in the semifinal game and then the championship game.
Most of the Italian players are not from Italy.
No. They have Italian
It's
descent.
basically New Jersey.
Pretty much.
That's the same thing for Italy and Israel. Most of the players are not from Italy and Israel.
No, they're not.
They're American Italians and American Jews.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
pretty
actually
much.
would qualify to play for Team Italy. You got to be within 2 generations removed.
Okay.
My grandparents were born in Italy. I would have been able to actually play for Italy.
Yeah.
You live
But
in
I'm
Jersey.
60, and nobody wants a 60-year-old relief pitcher.
You never know.
No, I think I'm.
You never
but
know,
I'll say
Jay.
this: the other cool thing was Austin Wells, who I didn't realize his mother was from the DR.
Yeah.
The Yankees catcher actually played for DR and had a potential to really impact the game.
Yeah.
He came up in a big spot last night.
Yeah.
And it would have been interesting if an American would have helped anyhow to
true.
beat the
It
Americans.
was-
Before we dive in, we just got a little breaking news in the NFL world.
Yeah, let's go.
Justin Fields has been traded to the Chiefs to be their backup quarterback and potential Week 1 starter if Mahomes isn't fully recovered
Who
from his
is
ACL
their
injury.
current backup quarterback?
Well, Minshew was there.
It was Minshew.
Did
Minshew
he?
left.
He's gone. He signed with somebody.
Wow,
Minshew
okay,
left.
interesting.
Our guy Darren Smith, who covers the Chiefs, who watches our show every day, he said he thinks Mahomes will be ready by Week 1.
I wouldn't put it past him, yeah.
You know, Justin Fields is a guy you can live with for a couple of weeks.
I think so. If they had to.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't mean to take us off course there with the WBC game. I knew it wasn't in the show, and I felt like it was such a big event last night that it deserved a couple of minutes. And
there you go.
Onward
It was
and
awesome TV.
Upward we go.
And we're going to talk for anyone who wants March Madness talk. We have done full-on March Madness segments during the show in the past, and it seems that people don't come to us for their NCAA tournament advice, tips, and tricks because we've spoken at length that none of us are diehard college basketball fans anymore. However, in overtime today, we are talking nothing but college hoops. So if you're looking for that in today's show, it'll be in overtime. We will get into all your bracket
St.
questions,
John's, baby.
bracket needs, and such.
5 seed.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're worried?
See. They went out in the tournament early last year, so I am.
I thought that was a little low, to be honest.
I thought they'd be a 4 after.
I thought they'd be a 3 or a 4.
Because they won like 20 of their last 21 games.
And that usually matters. Usually
they
the
got
committee
killed
looks
in
at
that one game against Connecticut, but they beat them in the Big East Championship.
I think that's the
handily.
game that, they lose by 40 points?
Right, but they beat them in the
I know.
Big East Championship.
You would think,
handily,
but it was interesting.
Anyhow. Anyway.
All right, well, before we dive in, one last reminder. This is the last Monday in the history of UCSS that we are from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Starting next Monday, we are moving over from 11 to 10 a.m. The show starts at 10 a.m. over on the WKYC app. If you guys haven't downloaded the WKYC app, the QR code you see on your screen will take you directly to the download page where you can download. The app costs exactly $0.00.
Free.
It costs you nothing. It is free. It's
a bargain.
For the second hour of the show from 11 to 12, we will be back on YouTube while also streaming the WKYC app. But if you want to see that first hour, starting next week, you have to download the WKYC app. And Jay, while you're here, real quick, I know you guys use the WKYC app upstairs. You plug it. Can you give the people who may have a little apprehension about making the change?
Couldn't be any easier. It literally could be. Our viewers are tech savvy. There was some apprehension when we went KYC app upstairs with the news, because the newscast viewer is older and probably a little less tech savvy.
Sure.
I hate to generalize, but
it's
you
true.
know, it's mostly true.
Yeah.
The folks that watch our show will get it. You just
Right.
you know how to use the QR code. You open your camera, you shoot it, you go to the link, you download the app. It couldn't be any easier once you get there. You just tap it and you watch. It's very, very simple. It's just going to be a matter of habit. I mean, our viewers by habit are usually, how many viewers do we have lined up in the queue at 10:45 every day waiting for the show to start?
An incredible number that I have to look and
it's
do
insane.
double takes every day because we love the support.
And
we
we are
get.
working on a chat option for the folks on WKYC, right, Mike?
It is in the talks.
We're trying to figure something out, obviously, and we just want you to start moving over there because that's the future and that's what it's going to be. And if you like this show, and if you're watching, you do like this show, and you want us to have a long and fruitful future,
You need to download the app.
you need to download the app, and because that's the plan.
It's non-negotiable.
That's right.
And we're excited about it.
Exactly.
And we're excited about it.
And,
It's great. Put it right on your TV, the app, and then you watch
absolutely.
it.
For a limited time, those that download it in the next 45 minutes will get a home visit from Bull He'll personally come to your house, have a
yell at
sports
you.
conversation with you. That's he'll
might
yell at you
yes.
while you're doing yard work. He'll walk alongside of you and tell you
What are you doing?
how stupid you are on the way you're edging your lawn.
Are you an idiot? That's sloppy. What's happening here?
Clean it up.
That would be a great
but
incentive.
it's a good time. You guys know how to use apps. It's not that big of a deal.
People are going to hold me to that, by the way.
They will.
Yeah.
Where's Bull?
Yeah.
Cut my lawn. We're supposed to get 9 inches of snow tomorrow.
No.
Yes, we are.
It's bad.
9
It's
inches?
bad.
I thought it was nothing.
Yes.
9 inches.
They got
man.
2 feet in parts
Snow
of
belt.
Minnesota and Wisconsin.
I know, but you know what? Before I went to Arizona,
Yeah.
I was going to take the driveway stakes out of my yard.
That's a good thing you didn't do it.
And my wife was like, "Are you kidding? You'll jinx it. If you take it out, we'll get." And I said, "No, I'm done. We're done. I'm going to take." And she wouldn't let me,
And it happened, and it's going to happen anyway.
And now here we're going to get 9 inches of snow.
Oh,
And
really?
that's-
Maybe the east side is getting it worse.
We always do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chagrin
Usually,
Falls
yeah.
usually. You guys get 1 or 2 in Lakewood and
Yeah.
the west side, and I get.
Although I got to go on Thursday for my surgery. My surgery's in Geauga County, actually.
Oh, is it?
what
Where?
hospital?
Ahuja?
At Geauga
Medical Center?
Medical Center, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I used to go to-
Good.
That's
good.
where my surgeons.
Are you excited about? Have you talked much about this?
I mean,
I'm more excited
I'm
than you are. I
excited.
think.
I've lost 21 pounds in the last 19 days.
Have you really?
Yeah.
By doing what? Just liquid.
The stuff
Well,
he's taking, probably.
I finally found a protein drink that I like. It's Celebrate
Protein
Cherry
water?
Lime Protein Water.
Wow. 20 grams. That's good. I
20
sent you
grams
one.
of
You didn't like that one, huh? Did you try it? It tastes like strawberry shakes.
I don't really love strawberry.
Oh,
but
okay,
I
then
did
it's not
buy
for
it.
you.
I tried it. I didn't love it, but my
Okay.
wife likes it.
It's 22 grams.
Yeah.
It's
So I got to have 60 grams a day.
so you've been drinking 3 of those a day.
Yeah.
And that's it?
No, I can have usually for dinner, but I can have 4 to 5 ounces of meat protein, lean meat protein.
Sure.
1 serving of carbs, although I don't always eat the 1 serving of carbs.
Yeah.
And vegetables, I can pretty much eat whatever I want. I've mostly been eating pickles, cucumber, broccoli, cauliflower. And what we're doing at night, my wife will make a stew or a soup with just mostly vegetables with a little ground turkey or a little chicken.
How are you feeling? You feel good?
I feel good. I'm a little nervous because it's a major surgery, but I'm feeling good. I'm
It's
ready
life
to go.
changing. This is
It is life changing. I had met a guy yesterday. I was talking to this guy, and his sister had this surgery.
Yeah.
And she's lost 200 pounds.
My goodness.
And you're trying to lose.
I'm trying to lose
about
160
Okay.
pounds. 150, 160. Yeah.
Well, you're already down
Well,
to
at this
20.
point now, about 140.
Wow.
130 to 140.
Well, congratulations. Good luck.
Yeah,
We'll be
thanks.
thinking about you. Got
Yeah.
the UCSS family is behind you.
I appreciate it.
And you
You're
can
gonna
feel
lose
their push.
Dude, you're going to lose my whole body.
I know.
Like,
I
one
hope
of
so.
me is going to disappear.
Are
from
you 160?
No, I'm 172.
Bro,
Jeez.
I think you look great, but what?
Dude, I played this weekend. I
tennis.
played tennis.
Hours and hours.
Singles this weekend, a ton. I
You
was
need
on,
to eat more, bro. Mix in some meat.
I eat a ton, dude. I eat whatever I want. I was on court 15 hours this weekend.
Well, that'll do it.
My son has gotten so trim now.
Is he doing this
between
like-
wrestling and swimming?
Oh yeah.
You know,
There's
and-
nothing that burns more calories.
I mean, it's crazy. He's like last week. He's like, Dad, I want to buy a pull-up bar.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right,
Let's go. Let's do it.
Got the pull-up bar.
How's he like wrestling by the
every
way?
day? He loved it.
Great sport.
He struggled, as most kids do.
It's okay. First year blues.
At his weight class, he was at 128, I think he was.
Yeah.
Every match he had was against an experienced kid, like an 8th
Yeah.
grader. There's a lot of experience.
Yeah, wrestling
But he
is-
hung in there.
Good.
Like, he hung in there. He
Well,
did
tell
all
him
right.
the fruits are in years 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then beyond.
All right, guys, let's dive into our first topic of the day. We're going to get to the Max Strus return after we talk about the rest of the game. I didn't think it was fair to skip the poorest defensive effort we saw from Cleveland yesterday in their Sunday matinee loss to the Mavericks. Dallas has one of the worst offenses in the entire NBA. They scored 130 points in the game, and the home crowd started booing the Cavs. Donovan said afterwards, it's a bad game. It happens. It is what it is. It is fair to point out this is the Cavs. Just the 3rd time since December 22nd, they have lost to a team that is sub 500. So there's been infrequent, rare, bad performances. But Jay, Dustin, Bull, yesterday was not a pretty performance whatsoever. And we'll get to Strus next. But the defense yesterday,
You can't give up 130 points,
Yeah.
guys, to a team that has, outside of Cooper Flag, I've heard of none of these guys.
They had won 8 road games all year before last night, Dallas.
Yeah.
They made that one look easy.
They did.
I've got a hot take.
shoot.
It's a rather uninformed hot take. Let's see what you think. I think they lost on purpose.
Whoa.
They want the 4 seed.
Boston's closing the gap on Detroit, though.
4
for
out.
The 1 seed.
They're 4
but
out.
They probably won't catch them.
That's a tough ask.
Well, yeah, you want to be in that. I mean, you'd much rather play Detroit than let Boston and New York play each other.
I think that's. I'm telling you, I could be wrong.
I don't buy that they lost on purpose.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not. Look,
but I agree that they'd rather be the 4 seed.
I don't think before the game Kenny said, "Guys, let's go get that L." I don't think that's what's going on. But I also think what's not going on is I didn't see Kenny or the team pushing hard to make the appropriate changes when things were going poorly to make sure that this was a game that they won. Disinterested, lack of effort on defense. I just thought this is not a high pressure game that they feel like they must win.
Yeah.
And they're solidly in the 4. They've got a 2.5 game cushion, I think, both ways, right?
No,
Mike?
they're only up a game in the loss column on Orlando.
But isn't it a 2.5 game stretch between Orlando?
It's a 2-game difference.
But it's only one in the
it's
loss
2 games.
column.
Yeah. I mean,
They've
look.
just played more games than Orlando.
I do think that they can manipulate this if they want to get in the 4.
But the good teams do that.
What's that?
The good teams do that.
I think load management is such a thing these days that I don't know. I mean, as I said, I think it's a rather uninformed. It's just like I'm not in the weeds like Mike is.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Look, it's a conspiracy theory.
I think it's a good conspiracy theory. I don't buy for a second.
Would you agree with this? They're much better positioned if they're the 4 than if they're the 3.
Listen,
Yeah.
maybe.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
my
So
God,
may-
you
so
get Boston
maybe-
in round 2. Boston to me is winning the East.
Probably.
We're not winning the East. Boston's winning the East.
Most likely.
It's going to be Boston and it's going to be Oklahoma City.
I think maybe subconsciously the players understand that the 4 is a better situation for them, and they obviously they know the schedule and they can play the schedule game and figure out like how it's going to be. But I don't think that there's anybody that didn't try to win that game.
No, I think they won when they just played sloppy. Yeah. And I'll tell you,
it was sloppy.
A major concern that I have right now for the team, we talked about this morning a little, Dustin, is Evan Mobley's free throw shooting.
Oh. Yeah, no.
What was he, 2 for 5 last night, Mike?
It's been all season. He's been a horrific
He's
free throw
been
shooter.
terrible. He's down to like 60% from the line.
It is disturbing.
That's inexcusable.
Like that's a liability in the playoffs.
Not kidding.
Big time is.
Because what'll they do? They'll just, when he touches the ball, they'll just hack him and put him on the line.
I mean, in late game situations, I mean, that's the guy you need to have him on the court. He's your best defender, right? So
Right.
you don't want to have to pull the guy out of the game.
And this is so weird. Usually, like a guy will get better as a free throw shooter. He's having his worst year by far. He was better as a rookie. As a rookie, he shot 65%. He got better every year from the line, including last year. And now this year, he's completely cratered. Mike, how do you explain this? Is it a mental thing with him?
Got to be.
It's all mental.
Yeah.
Free throws are all mental.
Or this seems to coincide with him trying to become a 3-point shooter.
So if you look at his 3-point splits, every time he's gotten hurt, his 3-point percentage has catapulted down. Like, not that it was great to begin with, but he's coming off those calf injuries. Those are directly correlated to the dips in his 3-point percentage.
Sure.
Free throws, you're not using your calf. It's no
you're
injury
just
thing.
standing there.
It's all mental. It's the yips, basically. It's the equivalent, the basketball equivalent of yips. The free throw line does not change distance.
No.
It does not change.
It's the only thing in sports that never changes.
Exactly. So it's entirely a mental thing. He's been his entire career before this season a serviceable free throw shooter. Not great. He's 73% last year, which is serviceable for a big. This year in the high 60s for a guy that's as skilled as Evan Mobley is, it is simply unacceptable.
No, it's not even high 60s, Mike.
Yeah. What did you say?
He's not high
I
60s.
said low 60s. I said in the 60s.
Oh, okay.
It is inexcusable. He's at this
and
season.
he's missed some crucial free throws, too.
And he's taking more free throws, attempting more free throws per game than ever.
Yes.
So when his percentage is the lowest and his attempts is the highest, that means he's missing way more opportunities to score.
But that's cause and effect, right, Mike? As teams see that free throw percentage go down, I would think they're more likely to put him on the line.
Yes, 100%.
Go to the line.
Why give him a chance to get an easy score?
Right.
He's also been more aggressive, which is part of the reason the free throw attempts
that
are up. And
makes
that's what
sense
we want to
too.
see from him, which is good. The issue is you got to convert. Those are free points. And
is that something you can work on mid-season?
It's all mental.
Work on it every day.
It's a mental thing. Yeah. He's got to see some go through the hoop to, feel like he can start making these on a consistent
By the way,
basis.
I'm sure you talked about this on the show. Your 3-point video that you sent us to the chat.
Yeah.
Did you show that on air?
It's really impressive.
We did. Yeah.
I got to tell you, Mike, holy cow.
Told you I could shoot.
That was beyond impressive.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Mike hit 17 of 20 3-pointers.
And most of them were in a row.
85% from 3-point.
He was hot.
You started out cold. You clanked like 2 of the first 5.
Yeah, 3 for 5, then finished.
And then went 14 of 15 to finish. I was watching for edit points, Mike.
That was
Yeah,
real.
I'm like, this is edited.
No.
I went back and looked at it again. I'm like, this is insane.
Now you got to do it from the NBA 3-point line, Mike.
Yeah, I got it set
Listen,
up.
you don't have to do that to impress me.
I got it set. People were saying you got to move next time, run around. I was like,
Yeah, I would have liked to seen you maybe move points.
well, listen.
Yeah, we should do like the 3-point contest where there's a
Use
set
some
of
racks,
balls in
use
each
some
spot.
racks.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
racks.
but still, I'm beyond impressed.
No,
yeah,
it was very
you're not
good.
hitting 85% if you're moving, but I don't care.
We'll
I
see.
challenge anybody right now to go out and hit 85% from the same spot.
I couldn't
don't-
hit 5%.
I don't think that most professionals could do that. Honestly,
What, just shooting?
85%.
Yeah,
It was great.
I don't know about
No,
that.
it's not an NBA 3.
Yeah,
No, it was college threes, but still.
I think any 3-point shooter in the league is hitting 85% from a college 3 in
yeah,
practice.
it's.
You
I
think
made
so,
some
Mike?
shots, but it's not the.
You think 85%, Mikey?
That's high.
It's
I'd give him
impressive
70.
for a
I'd
normal
give him
human
70%
being.
for regular ball players and good shooters.
What is that?
85
Is that like a 20? Was that 21 feet?
It's 3 feet shorter than the NBA. It's a significant difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, but still, it's impressive. I didn't mean to take us off.
No.
I just thought it was very impressive.
Thank you.
And
And
I
we're
want to
talking
point
about
that
Strus'
out.
shooting in a sec, but last thing
Yeah.
on the defense, because you lose a game, you lose a game. It's not the end of the world. As soon as the Cavs lose any game, we freak out. When they win, we say, who cares? They're supposed to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm not freaking out at anything in particular, other than the fact that from a defensive mindset, they couldn't keep a Dallas team that does not have many creators out of the paint. And that's an issue. And every time the Cavs lose, at least in the last 2 months, give or take, it has been because they have, I hate to use the word horrific, but last night I think it applies here, a horrific point of attack defense.
Yeah.
And when it's just the one big, when they don't have Allen and Mobley playing together, that forces Mobley to step up, they get hurt with offensive rebounds because Mobley's out of position now. They're collapsing and getting kickouts to corners, and it is the same pattern in how they lose. And to me, yesterday's a one-off, whatever. They beat Dallas by 20 on Friday. That's more concerning than anything else. They can't keep guys out of the paint. And in the playoffs, if you
That'll
can't
kill
keep
them in the
guys out of the
playoffs.
paint, that's not going to be a recipe for success.
Yeah.
To me, that was the most concerning part. Dustin, were you there yesterday?
I did not go yesterday. Had a USTA match at 2 o'clock, so we had to sell our tickets. I had tickets. We didn't go. No.
So let's talk about the one positive there with Max Strus there, Mike.
That was a great
Yes.
positive,
Max Strus
especially
was
off the rip.
Incredible last night. 6 of 7 from 3, 24 points. He was their best player. Bull, what stood out to you most about what Max Strus
Well,
did?
I remember last week I was like, well, we'll see what kind of shape he's in when he comes back.
We did.
And he looked phenomenal. He looked like the guy had never missed a game. He's missed the whole season. He was incredible. It's funny. You see this a lot when guys come back. I bet you next game he's not as good.
Well, he had the
Because
adrenaline
he's all
going.
juiced up,
No
right?
question.
I mean, think about this time of the year. Most of these guys are like, oh, we got a month left.
And
in
this
the
was
regular
his
season.
opening night.
Yeah, for him, it's first game. He's got plenty of energy. But it was great, and it shows you when Max Strus is playing his best basketball that he could be certainly a big factor for the Cavs come playoff time, another weapon. And if they're going to beat Boston or New York or maybe even Detroit, they're going to need all hands on deck, everybody healthy and everybody playing their best basketball, and that includes Max Strus. So it was great to see. He looked like he couldn't miss at all.
I wish he would have shot more, actually.
he was awesome.
When a guy's that hot, let it go. I'm with you, Bull. It's like he didn't even miss a game.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And I thought there'd be some sort of conditioning issues or there'd be a little hesitation to shoot. Man, he didn't show any rust whatsoever.
I mean, the Cavs got eliminated last year, like what, early May?
Mid-May.
Yeah.
something like that.
Right? So
Yeah.
he's been out 10 months. He hasn't played an NBA game in 10 months.
Came back and looked
you
like
would never
he'd
know
never
it.
been gone.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with Tatum, but Tatum's a superstar.
Right.
And, even Strus was just a good player, really
Yeah.
good player.
Well, they
it was incredible.
slow rolled him coming back.
They did, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure he's been working on the conditioning and everything in practice.
Clearly.
But man,
Yeah.
I was really encouraged by that, and I think he's gonna. We need him in the playoffs, And I think
Yeah.
what you had said a while back that Kenny wanted he said he needed 10 or 15 games, something like that.
That's right. What is he getting? Yeah.
Yeah, they have 16 left.
And he'll get 15, 16 games to get his legs underneath him before the playoffs come. We keep saying this, and I have to keep reminding myself that this is true because you've said regular season means nothing. It really doesn't mean anything at all. If the Cavs finish in the 4, could they still make it to the East Finals? I think so.
Yeah,
I think they can.
Yeah.
It's all about what happens when the playoffs start.
That's it.
And these losses might seem completely meaningless once the playoffs roll around.
That's right.
However, they could be, this could be a harbinger of things to come.
Right. Is it? Right. We don't know.
To Mike's point about the defense, if you can't clamp down and keep teams from getting buckets in crucial situations in the playoffs, you're going to be eliminated. And now, this defense doesn't look like it's going to stop anybody.
It's terrible.
When it needs to. So they've got to get things right over the next 15 games to make sure that they're ready for the postseason. And then I think their ceiling is the East Conference Finals. I don't see them getting past Boston.
I think they could get past Boston. I wouldn't pick them to beat Boston. But I don't think it's impossible. The thing is,
listen, Jason Tatum has looked good so far, dude, but he's still coming back from a very significant injury.
He is true.
And like we're talking about, a guy who is where's his conditioning at? Like all of a sudden you get to the playoffs, it's different than regular season.
Different. Listen, the Cavs have the talent to get to the finals, but the Celtics have the history.
Yeah, they do.
That's why you'd lean in that direction.
Sure,
but
but the Cavs are capable.
They can for
to
sure
beat
beat
them. But it's got to be everybody's got to be healthy, and you have a lot of guys on this Cavs team that have a lot. The Cavs have more guys with something to prove in the playoffs than any team in the NBA.
In my view, you're right. Yeah,
James Harden, Donovan Mitchell's never gotten past the second round. All these role players who have done nothing.
Even Allen. Like, what's Allen's injury deal? When's he coming back?
It's tendinitis. They say day to day. It's been 2 weeks.
And what's Jalen Tyson's situation, Mike?
Tyson?
Yeah.
He's healthy. Just Kenny's been opting to go with Keon Ellis instead lately. Ellis has been a little hotter from beyond the arc. Last night, not his best game. He was 1 of 5 from the 3, 2 of 7 from the floor.
Since Harden's come here, Jalen Tyson's disappeared.
Yeah, I mentioned, he was a guy that had a specific role, and when you bring a guy like Harden in, your whole offense changes, your entire dynamic of how you operate changes, and guys like Allen and the spot-up shooters were going to get kind of a boost, and the guys who were secondary creators were going to have to find out how to fit back in. And I mentioned this, I was on the radio with Earl.
But Mike, I don't want to see him, sorry to cut you off, but I don't want to see him disappear. I don't think that's the right way to go.
Are you taking the ball to James Harden's hand or Donovan Mitchell's hands?
Well, but they're not always both on the court. So when Donovan's on the court with Jalen and James Harden's taking a break, they did that fine earlier in the year. What would be the problem?
It's just fewer opportunities. And the one thing I mentioned with Tyson is, he didn't play last year much as a rookie. This is really his rookie season, right? Like this is he may just be hitting a little bit of a rookie wall.
Yeah,
it's 70 games in. He's never played a season this long ever in his career. Yeah. Actually, obviously, last year he played, but, real minutes.
Yeah.
He was so good early and shot the ball so well early that, thinking anyone, nobody shoots 50% from 3 for a season. It's happening.
Yeah, right.
So there was going to be a little natural regression. Having the fact that this is the longest he's played on top of the fact that he's trying to now figure out how to best fit in with other guys.
Getting heavy legs.
And heavy legs. And also for a guy like Jalen, who spends so much energy on defense, knowing I want to be the guy to guard the Luka Doncic's. I want to be the guard that gets the Jason Tatum matchup. I just think his offense is taking a little bit of a step back. And is it concerning? Like, a little bit. But also I think it's kind of to expect it for a young player going through his first season at this stage of his career.
And it's really up to Kenny to make sure that he stays involved.
Yeah, right? I don't like him not playing
with
at all.
With the rotations. And
he was out yesterday with an injury. It wasn't because he didn't play yesterday.
Oh, you said he was not injured.
Let me
Did you miss something?
find. Well, he's not hurt. He may have had against the Detroit game. He had the neck contusion or neck strain. He didn't miss a game because of that. But
yeah,
see the injury report from yesterday.
I think he is hurt. I think something happened.
That's what I thought. It was a knee bruise, right? Initially,
I don't remember.
Didn't he have that in Sacramento or something earlier? I don't know. Anyway,
yeah,
doesn't matter. All I know is that we need him back.
Yeah, I see him disappear from the lineup completely is disappointing, but hopefully he'll be back. And as you said, Jared Allen,
Oh, Tyson had ankle soreness, so it's not an injury.
Right.
He was just sore yesterday. Yeah.
I don't expect you to not be on top of that, Mike. That was like the first time ever.
You stumped him.
I wasn't at the game yesterday, so I apologize.
But Jared Allen's fit with James Harden, as you said, has been so important. Since Jared Allen's, we were all, certainly I was, trying to push him out the door for a while, but they were playing their best basketball when Harden and Allen were playing together. And they haven't had that.
Without a doubt. And Harden's changed his whole game when he's not getting downhill as much, which he does better when Allen's in on the court with him. Mobley and Harden, still figuring out kind of their pick and roll partnership and how that works best. He was not good yesterday, just 4-12 from the floor, and he got abused pretty bad defensively in a couple different plays. But it's one game. No need to over freak out to one game, but it certainly was not the kind of performance you want at home on a nationally televised game. When your home crowd starts booing, it's usually not pretty good.
Yeah, no, they sensed it too. By the way, I think part of my conspiracy is it's easier for me to deal with a loss like that if I just say, well, they weren't trying.
Yeah, right.
They were trying.
What's the better conspiracy theory right now? The Cavs purposely lost, or that Bigfoot is in Ohio right now?
Man, Bigfoot's here.
There's been a lot of rumors about that.
Bigfoot is
There's
here.
also rumors circulating that maybe Ken Carman is Bigfoot. Nobody's ever seen them together.
That's true. I've never seen them in the same room together.
Never.
No.
Wow, that's interesting. Bigfoot. I don't know. Were there like 11 sightings of Bigfoot? I was in Arizona when all this was going on.
Is there more this weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude. Really? Well, it's,
been a lot.
It was a nice day yesterday. Bigfoot was out prowling.
At this point, the first 6 were all kind of unrelated. It was kind of like, oh, this is weird.
Do you think now that these are copycat? I think I saw Bigfoot.
Copycat sightings.
Copycat sightings. Oh, yeah.
Was it? That could have been Bigfoot. I think it was Bigfoot. Something in the woods moved. I'm pretty sure it was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I always say, with UFOs too.
Yeah.
Everybody has phones now.
Yeah.
If aliens land in my backyard,
right,
and get out and walk around, I'm now going to have video proof of that.
That's right.
But we don't have anything. We've got things darting through the sky, which with AI and everything else we can create. I don't know.
That's true.
But I always said, well, now that we have cell phones, Bigfoot is either going to be proven or disproven. Yeah. Disproven by lack of proof.
That's true. That's what we have right now.
All of the people that have seen Bigfoot, where's your video?
Where is the proof?
Where is
How
the
are we
proof?
supposed to believe
you know what we have? We have one grainy video of him kind of walking and he's kind of looking, to the side. And that's like 50 years old. It's like the Loch Ness Monster video. Right. One shot of something sticking out of the water.
We don't even know if that guy, it could have been a guy in a suit.
Could be a guy in a suit. Could be a guy in a suit.
And it's lasted 50 years. Just like Lima making up the attendance for the Cavs parade has lasted now a decade.
Is that how that started?
Oh, it totally started. He made up a number and he said the Cleveland
Sports Commission.
Cleveland Sports Commission, and everybody just ran with it.
Wow,
he just
made it up. What was the
up.
number? Like 1.3?
He said 1 point. I don't remember the exact number.
Over a million.
Who knows what the real number is? I don't know, but
yeah, it was a lot.
It was believable, the number, but
it was.
Lima just made it up. Everybody.
It became the official number. Like if you go on Wikipedia now and type in the Cavs,
it'll tell you that's
which is just wild.
Well, I guess Bigfoot exists then.
He might.
Because, so here's if you see Bigfoot, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Get out your cell phone.
Yes.
And take some decent videos.
We need a real picture or video. Video would be better.
Video.
Although online now, there's so much AI, I don't know what's real and what's not.
At least 5 times every day, I ask this question. Is that real?
Right. No idea.
There's no way that's real.
I know.
And then, then you got to find out. Grok.
Right. If it's really cool, you're always disappointed if it's not real.
I know. I want stuff to be real and it's not.
I saw this thing where I think it was a hawk, took a little baby lion, and then the lion
carried it.
The lion mom jumped up and saved it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, fake. Oh, well. It's the world we live in.
Yeah,
Bigfoot, if you exist, you have an open invitation to come on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Yes.
Come in, we'll talk sports, get good video, and we'll prove once and for all. He's a Browns fan, Cavs fan.
To put a bow tie on this, Strus was awesome in his return. The Cavs defense was horrific yesterday. And I did a little Strus breakdown on our YouTube page and how the Cavs kind of did some creative things to get him some open looks yesterday.
Last time and first time that Strus and Bigfoot will ever be mentioned in the same sentence.
The Cavs could use Bigfoot in the paint, right? They could use some more rebounding.
It's like 8 foot tall.
Bigfoot might be an elite rim protector. Like
He'd be elite everything.
Fatter, hairier.
One of the
Manute Bol.
sightings, the woman said, I'm sure it was Bigfoot because his gait was like 8 feet long, like his steps. So imagine this big, furry, hairy creature that could get up court in like 4 steps.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What does Bigfoot run? Could Bigfoot run a 4.2?
Got a
3.40.
He's a long strider.
He's a little. It takes
slow-
him a
he's
little
slow
while
off
to
the
get
line.
going,
Yeah, slow
but
off
once
the
he
line.
does, he covers that last 20 like that.
The cone drill, I don't know about his dexterity.
Slow out the
Agility
gates,
back.
man,
No.
but he's got the strides.
Imagine him as a defensive end. He's gonna block everything.
Blocking field goals.
Oh my goodness.
Ultimate cheat code. All right, guys. Man. The Charge back at home on Wednesday, taking on the Delaware Blue Coats. If you want to check out the
Isn't that a playoff game, Mike?
What do you say?
Isn't that the playoffs?
No, but they did clinch a playoff spot.
Oh.
They still have 5 regular season games left.
Okay.
Then it's the playoffs. So if you want to see the Cleveland Charge in their second to last home game, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. against the Delaware Blue Coats, the playoff bound Cleveland Charge. Get your tickets at clevelandcharge.com. All right, guys, let's talk a little football here. For the sake of this discussion, let's pretend the Browns are for sure going to draft an offensive weapon at number 6. They may go offensive line. We may want them to go offensive line, but for the sake of this, let's say they're going to draft a weapon. And on the board at number 6, when the Browns are going to draft a weapon, are both running back Jeremiyah Love from Notre Dame and receiver Carnell Tate, the receiver from Ohio State. In this instance, you have a prospect who's considered a blue chipper. Some say he's the best player in the draft in Jeremiyah Love, at a position where you already have a really talented young running back in Quinshon Judkins. Or you could take a prospect like Carnell Tate, viewed as the top receiver in this draft, but not a generational receiver draft class, but it fills a bigger need. Jay, if it were up to you and those were the 2 choices, Tate, less of a prospect, more of a need, or Love, better of a prospect, less of a need, which offensive weapon in this scenario would you be more in favor of the Browns taking?
I'm surprised that this is a question, and I'm anxious to see your responses. We have the most glaring need that this team has ever had at wide receiver, and that's saying something because we've rarely, if ever, had quality wide receivers. Our leading wide receiver in franchise history is a tight end. We've just never solved that position, okay? We drafted our running back in Quinshon Judkins, and I know he got hurt. I get all of that. But running back, to me, is the position that is really, really difficult to project. Sometimes you get guys come out of Toledo, a low draft pick, like Hunt, that leads the NFL in rushing. And then other times you see guys like Richardson, that's a Heisman Trophy winner taken in the first round, and he did have one 1,000-yard season, but by and large was a bust. So I like Love. I think he's a great player, and I think he will be a good player in the NFL. But we've had 2 glaring needs the last 2 years. We have fixed the offensive line, and we're going to talk later about that.
Well, we hope we have. On paper,
I feel like we have.
Yeah.
We have addressed the offensive line.
Yes, addressed, definitely.
We have addressed the offensive line.
Yeah.
Did we make the right moves? Time will tell.
You're right.
I like all of them. I think we did. But if they don't draft a wide receiver at number 6, I will throw my hands in the air and just this is a glaring weakness that they have.
How many?
They have to take
How
a wide
many
receiver.
teams can you say you haven't had a receiver that you drafted and developed into like a true number 1 receiver in a decade? The last receiver that the Browns drafted was Josh Gordon, that they turned into a true number 1.
And you know what? I know he's a hit because he hit for a minute, but because it wasn't a generational hit, they haven't done it.
Who was the last one before that?
No one. I mean, Webster Slaughter was a guy
a long time ago.
Yeah, that was in the 80s, and he was
Slaughter,
I think he was a late first-round pick, maybe a second-round pick.
Yeah.
And he was
they have had no wide receiver
None.
in the last 30 years
Braylon.
that has had sustained success. Braylon, same thing as Josh Gordon.
He had flashes.
Right.
Sustained success, drafted by the Browns, and been good over a good stretch of time.
Webster was the 43rd pick, so second-round pick.
Yeah.
And he did develop. He was a good player.
Right.
But, I don't know how many wide receivers have we ever had that have made multiple Pro Bowls.
Since they've been back, I can't.
99.
And look, I know that Tate. There are concerns. I think his 40 time was a concern. It didn't concern me.
Didn't concern me at all. I watched him at Ohio State.
I did too. Every down. We both saw every play he played in his college career.
Created quite separation.
Great route runner, great hands, not afraid to go over the middle, makes incredible acrobatic catches at the sideline, has great body awareness. I think he's as much a hit as they could hope for at 6. I hope he's still on the board.
Ask Bull about drafting a guy who's got 4.2 speed and can't really play receiver.
Don't get me started.
And John Ross?
Yes.
Is a good example.
Anthony Schwartz?
Anthony
Schwartz was a burner.
Yeah, later pick, but I'm saying when these guys get drafted top 5, top 10 because of their workouts, they oftentimes don't pan out.
I agree with that.
So,
I agree with that. How
about we watch the tape of this guy for the last
2 seasons.
Just tearing it up. And he's tearing it up. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith creates opportunities for Tate because of his.
But he went out and had big games when Smith wasn't on the field, too.
He did. I mean, look, I just think that. And this is not.
Is this as much a no-brainer for you as it is for me?
It is so simple, guys. Do not F this up.
Yeah.
Don't the best teams take the best player available?
Yeah.
Isn't that generally the smartest thing to do?
But even in this situation, they need a receiver. This kid played at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State's been putting the best receivers in football since Hartline has been there.
Yes.
And that's why.
And this kid comes to the Browns like, we don't really have to teach this guy how to work hard, how to run routes.
No.
Like, he's already coming NFL ready, man.
And by all accounts, a great kid, too.
And that's why ultimately, even though Jeremiah Love's probably a better prospect, I think it's close enough between the two. And that's why I would take Tate. Now, if they take Love, I will not kill him for it.
No, I won't either.
I won't, because there's something to be said about, look how the Lions, obviously the Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Gibbs.
But that backfick having those two great running backs has been huge.
I get it.
I would take Carnell Tate because I believe, again, and I've been obviously paying more attention now in the draft process, the track record of Ohio State wide receivers has been phenomenal. Not that that's a guarantee for Carnell Tate, but I feel like the under-the-radar wide receivers have actually been better than the bigger name wide receivers for Ohio State. JSN was completely under the radar.
Well, not completely under the radar.
Well, but he wasn't as hyped as Marvin Harrison.
No, you're right about that. And Marvin Harrison has been, I'll say it, he's been a flop.
Ibuka,
of all of the Ohio State receivers, he's been the flop.
Ibuka was under the radar.
Yes.
McLaurin. I know he cooled off the second half. McLaurin was under the radar.
Yep.
They're all great. That's the one position. It's like, why can't Ohio State quarterbacks ever be good in the NFL? Well, why can't Ohio State wide receivers ever be bad in the NFL?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is, he doesn't have, probably, again, I don't know for sure. See, his ceiling of greatness is probably not as high as Jeremiah Love. But what I love about him is I think he's got the highest floor of any player in this draft.
Wow.
I'd be stunned if he's not at least a very good player. Now, you draft him at 6. You want him to be an all-pro. And if he's just very good, I guess that's a little of a bit of a disappointment. But I think the Browns have – I just looked at it real quick. The Browns have had – Jerry Jeudy was actually a Pro Bowler a couple of years ago, remember?
Yeah.
That he was their first wide receiver Pro Bowler in forever. I don't even think Josh Gordon ever made a Pro Bowl for whatever reason. Maybe because he was suspended. I don't know the reason. But they've had nothing at the position.
That's why I'm surprised that it's close for you. Like, I get the best available player. I get that in most situations. But the last 2 years, the Browns have had such a glaring weakness and lack of anybody. Like Jerry Jeudy 2 years ago did an okay job, but only with certain quarterbacks. You know, when Jameis Winston was in there, he seemed to make it look easy.
And let's face it, Jerry Judy's career to this point says that year was an anomaly.
Right. You know?
Now, he's overall been better than he was last year in Denver, but his average season has been like 800 yards.
He's led the league in drops.
He is a wide receiver, too.
Yes.
He is a wide receiver, too.
And that's why, for me, this is a no-brainer. We need this position if he is available. And I love what you said about he's got the highest floor of anybody. If you think that, you take him. And you hope that the process works itself out with Judkins and he's going to be okay.
Right, and taking Love is not about Judkins. It's about
the combo.
And it's like Judkins is not good, But if you could have a David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs type of situation, that in a perfect world, you could get Love and a top receiver, maybe they would do that. I don't know. If by some reason Tate is gone and Love is available and they take Love, I'm on board with that. But I think if Tate is there at 6, I think you probably got to take him.
And Jay says one of the most important things, and when it comes to receivers specifically, a lot of times these guys flame out because they're full of themselves. They're divas. That's sort of their nature.
He's a pro.
And this is not the case with Carnell Tate. Like, he is as good a kid as you're going to find.
Yeah.
He comes in absolutely ready. Like, work ethic's not going to be a problem. You're not going to worry about this guy being in the club.
Right.
Like, you're just not going to have those issues. So,
Right.
so the odds of him becoming a, above average starter, 10-year pro, I bet a lot on that.
Now, you want better than that at the 6th pick.
But you said,
but
like,
that's the
his
worst case
floor is ridiculously high.
His worst case scenario is good 10-year pro. In my opinion,
we got a 10-year pro out of him.
I would say that the chances of this guy not being somebody you resign to a second contract are very slim to none. Like, you're going to want this guy to be.
Barring injury, that'd be the only concern.
Of course, that.
We've seen time and time again excellent receivers in this league who weren't elite speed-wise.
Yeah,
we've seen it.
Well, Jerry Rice wasn't a burner.
No.
But a lot of guys aren't burners. I mean,
he is a. I know it's kind of cliche, but he's a pro's pro. That's what he is.
What did he
he's
run?
A guy who's
like a high 4.5,
4.6,
4.6. Cares?
Tate or
Tate.
It was a 4.54.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Tyvus said that's completely fine.
Completely fine.
No problem with that. Yeah.
Well, I think it was
4.64,
below.
I'd be fine.
Wasn't it though below the median wide receiver 40 time?
It was below the median receiver. All the combine times this year were
slower.
As fast as
faster.
they've been.
Okay.
But that's because.
Do people understand that?
But people, real quick, Dustin, people
4.5. 4.5 is
the
still
slow guys didn't run, so the average time is just way higher.
Yeah,
Anyone who was scared to run didn't run. So
got it.
was just
he'll run faster. What he had did he have his pro day yet?
Ohio State has not had their pro.
Yeah,
day.
I bet he runs faster at the Woody Hayes.
Guys, I ran low 4.3s at Ohio State, and there were receivers that I had to guard like in college in the Big Ten that couldn't run 4.6. They run 4.7.
Yeah.
But they were unbelievable route runners. Like, it's not like these guys are lining up in a track stance against the defensive back.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not all linear either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
it's obviously it's not linear. Your defensive back's running backwards.
Right.
You're running and you're cutting and you're doing all these things, and this is what that guy's really good at.
For you, Dustin, I think you just answered it. Would you rather guard a burner that wasn't a tight route runner? Like, what was the most difficult thing for you to handle?
Oh, I mean, guys who ran good routes. I mean, I think about some of these guys like Bam Childress was like the hardest guy to cover.
Really?
Like, because he was just, his feet were so good, his agility was insane. I mean, he was Mr. Football in the state of Ohio.
Right.
It's not like the guy was a good pro, played in the NFL. But sometimes bigger receivers who can create separation, and regardless of their top end speed, how many times do receivers really run 40 yards?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, very rarely.
I don't need a track star. I need a wide
you're
receiver.
like, oh man, how did he get so open?
Anthony Schwartz.
Well, it was a stutter and go, and he ran
Yeah.
a great route that broke their DB down, and that's how he's wide open. But I just think that is overrated. You know,
Mike, what's his measurables? What are his measurables?
plenty good
Tate?
enough.
Is he 6'3"?
He's
He seems long and lean.
Big kid.
He's listed at 6'2", 195.
Yeah, right. So he's pushing
take
6'2", and he's pushing.
How do you
200.
explain Marvin Harrison?
Real quick, before Marvin Harrison, I got a question for you guys real quick on this. And for the record, I would take Tate too. I was just looking up NFL comps for top prospects, and Bleacher Report did a comp for each one. If these are the two comps, would it change your thinking at all? For Tate, it's a bigger, stronger Devonta Smith. Be a good pro.
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't take Devontae Smith at 6, though. He's good, not great.
Yeah, but you
For-
said bigger, stronger.
Bigger, stronger
I mean, to me,
Devontae
Devontae Smith, what he lacks,
Yeah, that's true.
you're saying Tate has.
Right. If he's a bigger, stronger Devontae Smith, then it's probably a
I would
first-round
take
pick.
it.
Good point.
Devontae Smith also has another really good receiver that's taken
That's
some
true.
of his numbers away from him.
Jeremiyah Love is Jahmyr Gibbs on steroids.
Yeah.
Well, that's
impressive,
Jahmyr
too.
Gibbs might be the best back in the league.
That's
right
very
now.
impressive.
So, man.
So
Yeah.
just want to throw that,
Yeah.
obviously
No,
comps,
that's
but
interesting.
Just want to throw
But
that
you
out
know,
there.
two Mondays ago when I was in, and it was not long after the combine ended, I had brought up about I don't care about speed.
Yeah.
I asked Mike to tell me the 5 fastest 40s from wide receivers last year, and he read them off, and they were nobodies.
Yeah.
And then we looked at another year, and they were nobodies, essentially. I mean, there might have been one guy in each of the top 5.
I think Jeremiyah Love is going to the top 5 anyway, so I don't think it's going to.
There's a chance most of these guys
specifically
aren't
for
there
the
at 6.
combine to be track athletes.
Yeah,
like, it's not
to boost their stock.
Yeah,
right?
they actually.
You remember Dave Kennedy from Ohio State, or was he gone by then?
No, well, he was there until I got there, but I knew him.
He was the guru, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
he got the guys ready for combines like no other.
He did. But now, I mean, everybody's got a Dave Kennedy.
Yeah.
What'd you say,
Mike,
about Jeremiyah Love?
No, just Jameer Gibbs on steroids. I didn't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go in the top 5 probably.
I was saying I think there's a chance that Tate and Love are off the board by
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, I think so.
Like there's a very good chance.
And if that's the case, you either go O-line, you could go Tyson, or you could trade down.
Yeah.
I think they would probably trade down.
It would not surprise me if the Browns traded down.
No.
Especially if
Tate's
we don't
gone,
know they like both wide receivers. Who knows? But you never know with the Browns.
No, you
never
don't.
know.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Browns,
Right. Yeah.
where conventional wisdom rarely applies.
That's true.
I think
All right, guys.
That's their logo on their new stadium. It's going to
Yes.
say, "We're the Browns, where conventional wisdom rarely applies."
That would be funny. All right, we got another Browns topic to get to. Quick reminder, follow us on social media. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Help us grow all of our audiences on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the WKYC app. We appreciate your guys' continued support, and genuinely we appreciate you guys for making UCSS part of your daily routine. Last summer, Andrew Berry signed a defensive tackle from the San Francisco 49ers that most of us didn't think much of at the moment, except Tyvis. Tyvis said from the get-go, Malik Collins is a baller, and he turned out to be 100% right. Malik Collins was on pace to have a potential all-pro year before suffering a season-ending injury. So Andrew Berry went back and did it again, guys. He signed Kalia Davis.
He did it
from the San
again?
Francisco 49ers.
Doesn't Kalia Davis have to play before we say
He's
he did it
efforting
again?
to do it
No,
again.
he signed a defensive tackle for San Francisco again.
Yeah.
That part
He went back to the same well.
At least we've heard.
Will he have the same results?
We had heard of Malik Collins before. I'd never heard of Kalia Davis.
I will be honest.
Doesn't mean he's not good. I'm just saying I've never heard of him.
I will be honest, and I put in the rundown. I had not heard of Kalia Davis.
I had not either.
I went back, watched some film, made some plays for sure. Kind of sneaky athletic in a way. PFF grades not friendly to him for what it's worth. And obviously when you just see highlights, they can look good. You don't see a lot of the lowlights.
They're called highlights for a reason.
Yeah,
People
but
don't
Bull,
know
what can you
defensive
tell the
tackles that
good
are
people
run
out there
stoppers
who
names? They don't
may
never
not
heard
be
of
familiar with
that's
Kalia Davis about the Browns' newest defensive tackle?
I mean, they paid him $3 million. Well, how much did Malik
was
Collins
$3
get?
million.
Like 10? It was 3?
No, Davis got $3 million.
Yeah.
Right?
How much did Malik
$3
Collins
million.
get last year?
More than that.
It was like 10,
he was
12
their
million.
biggest signing, about
Yeah.
10 million.
I don't think this is an equivalent move. Malik Collins had a track record. This guy played a lot last year because their whole defense was hurt.
Yeah.
He might be a perfectly fine player, as you and I were talking about earlier. Like, you need that's the one position that you need depth more than anything else is defensive line, because everybody plays. If you're active on the O-line, if you're the 8th or 9th guy, you're not going to play unless there's injuries. Same thing at other positions. On the D-line, everybody that's active at least gets in there a little bit.
Rotate him in and out.
So if the guy can be their 4th or 5th defensive tackle, okay, fine. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a sneaky good move when I never heard of the guy and he's got bad PFF grades. Not that it's the end-all be-all, but I don't know. What other information do I have?
Yeah, I guess the only piece of information I don't have that I'd like is what does Tyvis think about the move?
Yeah, right. Even Tyvis probably never heard of this guy.
I know. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I will effort Tyvis' response. Hold on.
Yeah, let me know what Tyvis has to say, because Tyvis did nail the Malik Collins thing. We were all like, at the same time, we were like,
whatever.
It's
Yeah,
a body. It's a camp body.
Right,
We'll see what he can
right.
contribute. And I think you made this point. Like, we don't know these run stoppers, especially the reserve run stoppers. They're in so infrequently, and they get so few opportunities.
You know the guys on your team, and that's it.
That's it. And the other thing is, like, I watched some highlights too. There weren't very many of them. And that was kind of, I'm like, wait, that's it?
Yeah, right.
I think it was like a minute 45. I expected more. And, but, you know, they're highlights. If I picked out if I picked out your tennis highlights, and showed them to a tennis pro, they say, this dude can really play.
Yeah.
Now, if I took your unforced errors and your worst part, then they say, oh, yeah, he's got some work to do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, somewhere in the middle lies the truth.
Yeah.
I think he's good. I've seen your highlights. I've seen your tennis. You can play.
I can play a little bit.
I think that this is one of those moves. It's just like it's a roster move.
Yeah, you need to fill spots
now,
on the roster.
If he catches lightning in a bottle again, Andrew Berry's stock is going to continue to rise if he can hit on moves like this.
Sure.
So, but right now, what do I expect of Kalia Davis? Not a lot.
I now know who he is. That's what
I know his name.
He's
I know
a
what he
large
looks like.
human being.
He is a big
He's a
dude.
big dude, man.
He's a big dude. And I think we've got nice depth there.
Yeah,
So, I
definitely.
mean, I think it might even be kind of tough for him to fit in. I think we've got that kind of depth.
Well, Malik Collins is not going to be ready for the start of the season.
Oh, he won't be?
I think.
I was assuming that he would be.
I don't know now.
I'm not 100% sure. They're going to count on Mike Hall to stay healthy, which has not been a great bet so far.
Obviously you got Mason Graham. So he
Mason
would,
Graham.
I guess if Malik Collins is healthy, he'd be the fourth guy. Am I forgetting somebody else?
Aiden Huntington, their fullback /
Oh, they like
Yeah,
him.
and I mean, and we talk about that you need depth.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you're going to get out of the fourth guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to play a little bit.
Play a little bit.
The fourth guy will play 8-10 snaps probably.
Yeah.
know?
Hopefully he can hold up.
Yep. All right. That's a good
They
breakdown. That's as much as you're going to get out of that guy, Mike.
No, that was
What did
awesome.
Tyvus say?
Yeah.
Did he reply
I
yet?
texted him as soon as I get an answer. I will chime in.
All right.
But real quick on Mike Hall Jr. as a Buckeye to Buckeye, Dustin.
Yeah.
Do you still have faith that he can turn into the top tier, maybe strong, but he's a second round pick, their first pick in the draft? Could he turn into the guy the Browns thought they were taking, 54th overall?
I mean, if you ask Tyvus, he'll tell you he thinks he can.
Yeah, he definitely would.
He's got scarlet
and
glasses,
gray glasses on. I still wear them too a little bit, but I mean,
Tyvus is definitely much more of a Buckeye homer than you are.
yeah. Well, he lives in Columbus and he does Buckeye radio and works for the Big Ten Network.
It's there, but we just don't know if we can get it consistently.
Yeah,
Can he stay healthy?
Got to stay healthy. Got to stay on the field. I mean, the talent is certainly there, but if you're a second round pick, you better become a legitimate starter in this league.
Yeah,
know?
I agree.
Right. And right now he's not.
No, he hasn't been.
And
so he's got work to do.
Yeah.
Got work to do.
All right, Kalia Davis, welcome to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Excited to have you. Guys, next Monday, we mentioned at the top of the show, let's mention it again. The first hour of UCSS from 10 to 11, not 11 to 12, and it is exclusively on the WKYC app. QR code on your screen. Take a picture of it. Go to the App Store. It works in Ohio. It works in the other 49 states. It works internationally. You can watch us anywhere.
Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Yep, it works
all the
everywhere.
provinces in Canada.
Guam. American
the
Samoa.
U.S. territories.
Yeah.
Same
you get us
UCSS
wherever.
show
You get us in
guys have
Russia.
grown to love, just on a new home starting next Monday. All right, Jay, I got asked this question over the weekend. I hadn't thought of it. I think we're all going to agree with it, but it's going to let us get into a bigger free agency conversation with the Browns. But the Giants, for example, signed a couple of Ravens players. Former Harbaugh guys followed Harbaugh. The Falcons with Kevin Stefanski have signed some former Kevin Stefanski players, some hysterical former Kevin Stefanski players.
Who'd they
like
sign?
Austin Hooper.
Oh, God.
Back with his old buddy.
Austin Hooper kind of rehabilitated himself
He did have a good year
little
last year.
bit. But when he was here, I think he had vertigo when he was here. I mean, he was running routes. There was no one near him. He was falling down. I'm like,
know.
what happened?
Is he the only one? Is Hooper the only one?
I think he is.
I believe he is, yeah.
So you're talking out your you-know-what a little bit on Stefanski.
Strong.
I said he brought one.
One. The guy hasn't been here. He hadn't coached him in 4 years.
I'm sorry that one is a fact, and you don't like the fact
All
that
right,
I gave you
fine.
a fact. I apologize that my fact
It's
is factually
you don't know if it's
correct.
a fact he went there because of Kevin Stefanski. I doubt that was the case.
I'm just saying he signed a former guy.
Okay,
The
fine.
question I was asked this weekend was, does it concern you at all that Todd Monken didn't sign any former Ravens players?
I have to tell you, I didn't even think about that.
That was my answer for the record.
I didn't. I didn't think about that. You'd be perfect to talk to about this. Players or coaches get married to players. We know that. And I think of guys like Parcells and Belichick in particular. They got onto a guy and they freaking loved them, and they would bring them even if the music had kind of stopped in their parade. They would still kind of bring them along. And because they believed in the culture that they brought, that they had buy-in to the Belichick way or the Parcells way. I'm not overly concerned by this, and the reason I don't think I thought about it was because I think by and large they were a B+ in what they did in free agency.
Yeah,
I thought they hit it out of the park in free agency.
First of all,
the fact that none of them are Ravens didn't even come into my mind.
Whoever asked you this question is a dope, Mike. First of all, the only
That's fair for the record.
What's that?
That's fair.
That's fair.
No, very fair.
You don't have to give names, but you're
First
confirming
of all,
his.
The Browns
one of
were
my buddies who's
interested in
definitely
Tyler
watching right
Linderbaum, right? That's the Ravens guy.
Yes.
The Raiders paid him a ton of money.
Yeah, so
the
we're
Browns
out.
couldn't afford to pay that.
Yep.
He didn't it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to go with Coach Monken. He went with where the money was. That's what most players do.
Yeah.
Who else on the Ravens offense were you supposed to sign, Mike?
Would you even want?
He mentioned Isaiah Likely was the guy that he wanted Cleveland to
The
sign.
Browns weren't interested in Isaiah Likely.
They weren't.
I don't think that had anything to do with Todd Monken.
Well, Todd, it may have. Todd may have said, no, he's just not my kind of player.
Maybe, but it's I can't imagine there's any way I didn't hear the Browns connect. The Browns were not going to spend how much did they pay Isaiah Likely, whoever signed him?
More than we would have paid him.
He got 3 for $40.
Yeah,
Why would the Browns pay 3 for $40 for a tight end?
Yeah, no way.
And by the way,
we've got a great tight end.
He's a nice talent, but he's done nothing.
Well, and he's also very similar to Fannin.
Exactly,
he's
you got
kind of-
Fannin for no
kind of
money.
the same player.
Right. Now, if he was a wide receiver, that's a different
The
conversation.
Browns signed Jack Stoll, who's a blocking tight end for probably $1 million.
Nothing. Couple million, I think.
So that's a terrible example because the Browns don't need Browns need a lot, but they didn't need a pass catching tight end.
Now, in your experience, you probably had personal relationships with coaches that even if they ended up not signing you, they may have called you and said, "Hey, listen, we'd like to, kick the tires."
Yeah.
That exists. That's a real thing.
For sure.
But I think for it to eventually work out, I imagine more often than not it doesn't work out because another team comes in and offers more money, or it just wasn't the right fit this time around, or whatever.
Depends on who the guy is. I'll give you an example of this. I was in Minnesota. I was drafted there, and the staff got blown out. New coaches come in. Mike Tomlin became our new DC, and I thought I was going to basically be the nickel, and no, Tomlin had his guy from Tampa who was I think he was a late round pick or an undrafted guy. And he became a free agent, and he brought him in and immediately put him ahead of me on the depth chart. And I was like, okay, well, this sucks.
Yeah,
but I was like, I get it now. This is a business, and this guy's putting this defense in, and he wanted that guy. Really, he wanted him there because he could teach all the other guys the defense.
Yeah, right.
Part
of the culture thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that you may start to see that at some point, but to Bull's point, I mean, who else did you want him to get in terms of the high-end top guys?
Right.
There may be players that Todd Monken's had on other teams. Who knows?
Right.
It could be somebody that he had here in 2019 when he was here.
There was no other Isaiah Likely and Linderbaum were the only significant offensive free agents.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Monken brings in a quarterback that he's coached just to kind of help these young guys learn the system.
Yeah, I don't know who that would be. I'm trying to think.
I can't off the top of my head think about that.
Speaking of quarterbacks, did you see the Bengals signed Josh Johnson this weekend?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the only reason
Unless he had another
circle?
team that he's.
Yeah, the only reason I brought him up is because if you look at his
he's played
all
for
the
everybody.
teams he's been. This is his
yeah.
third time with the Bengals.
Yeah.
But if you look at his list of all the stops he's had, it's just crazy.
It is nuts. He's played for practically.
It also-
Getting the job must be a great guy.
It also tells you he's must be a great guy.
Yes.
Too. But he's also probably a really good quarterback because you got to
right.
still trust to put the guy in the game. He started games
think
for a
how
long.
many quarterbacks have entered the league since he did.
Yeah.
Right.
That might fill those backup
Hundreds.
roles.
Hundreds.
Hundreds of
yeah.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yet he keeps getting recycled, and they keep calling his name. Andy Dalton did that. Andy Dalton's still in the damn league.
He's still in the league.
And the guy was a decade ago a premier quarterback.
But Josh Johnson was never a premier quarterback.
No, that's true.
He was always in
He's
this
been
role.
backup the whole for 20 years.
Colt McCoy was another guy.
Have you
Colt
guys
McCoy forever?
Have you guys seen? Josh Johnson's got a commercial.
Yes, where he took all the different jerseys.
Yes.
It's a cell phone commercial.
Yes.
Talks about changing. I've changed.
There's a series of commercials. Not this, it must be
backup
separate.
quarterbacks.
With all the backup quarterbacks.
He's not in that one.
Were you guys here one night? We had Brian Hoyer on.
Yeah,
because I asked him about
and you
that.
asked him why he wasn't in it.
He's got to get in that. He should be in that.
Yeah, he should because he's the perennial backup.
Anyway.
So, Jay, you weren't here earlier when we talked about the free agent signings because you were in spring training last week. But Zion Johnson, Elton Jenkins, Tevin Jenkins, Titus Howard, Quincy Williams. Let's hear it. Let it rip.
I've said already, I think it's a solid B. We do have to wait and see to see how it translates. But if you would have told me before the free agent period started that we were going to get all of that talent addressing all of our needs, I would have said exactly what I'm saying here. Wow, how the hell did they pull that off? And I understand that the restructuring of Deshaun Watson's contract had something to do with that.
Yeah.
But I think Johnson is probably the centerpiece. Would you guys agree with that? I think he was the
highest paid guard in free agency. So
yeah, I mean, I think Elton Jenkins is actually the best player.
He's a Pro Bowler, right? I mean,
he was as a guard. I think he's going to play safety.
But he gives center. He gives you some flexibility.
Crazy if he played safety.
That would be impressive.
If he played safety, that would really be the only two-way ever center safety. No, I think that's awesome. Not pictured there, by the way, was the guy that I took grief over when I said, wait a minute, we've got to re-sign our punter. You got to.
Yeah.
Corey, that's a good point.
He was eligible to move, and I can't remember what the question was, but my answer to it was, well, I want to bring back the punter.
We were talking about the
8 guys you keep.
Draft.
Yeah.
If there was an expansion draft.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the question was.
Speaking of which, there's looks like there's going to be 2 new NBA teams in 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll be.
So there'll be an expansion draft.
Are we getting Seattle back?
Seattle and
has
Vegas.
to be Seattle. Has to be
Seattle and Vegas.
Seattle and Vegas.
Ooh, the NBA in Vegas. Sweet. Man,
that's dangerous.
Man. Can you imagine? They're going to have baseball, basketball, and football. And a
hockey.
decade ago, and hockey. And a decade ago, they had nothing.
Nothing.
And it was widely regarded that they would never get anything because of the distance between gambling and because the distance between gambling and pro sports. But now they're intertwined.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have all 4.
Yeah. The Browns have done a nice job. How much better they're on the offensive line, we won't know till they play.
Yeah.
But they've added legit. One of the 4 guys they added was already here, Tevin Jenkins.
Yes.
The other 3 are new. They're all starters. Zion Johnson, if you look at the PFF grades, they're not great. But he was a first-round pick.
What did
and there's a lot
Petonio
of
do?
potential.
I was in Arizona.
Right now, he's just a free agent. He hasn't retired. He might still retire.
We want him to come back?
I think that ship has sailed.
I think so too. I mean, he signed 2 guards. Unless Jenkins is the center.
There are rumblings that if he does not retire, he's going somewhere else.
That he wouldn't come back here.
That's correct.
You know what? If I was Joel, I'd give it a shot. Because you've got 1 more year.
Go play.
You want to experience playoff football.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes to Atlanta. I don't know if they need a guard.
I don't even know if they're a playoff team.
I don't know, but he and Stefanski always seem to be on the same page.
Yeah, they had a good relationship.
Stefanski did sign Cameron Thomas too, so that's 2 former players.
Whoa, big addition.
Wait, who? What was
Cameron Thomas.
Cam Thomas, defensive end.
It's funny, the guys that coaches take a liking to.
There you go.
And
your point is proven, Jay.
Yeah, there
sure,
you go.
Kevin Stefanski and Cameron Thomas had a really close
They were tight.
relationship.
They were tight. Yeah, you see them all the time at the Dairy Queen in Lakewood.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Off season.
Jay, we didn't mention Quincy Williams. You talked about the offensive line. They lost Devin Bush, brought Quincy. We're just seeing all your kind of free agency thoughts here because you missed last week. But replacing Devin Bush with Quincy Williams, a guy who Devin Bush had his best season ever in 2025. Quincy Williams was an All-Pro in 2023 under new defensive coordinator Mike Rutenberg. So that's his guy he brought with him and brings back.
That's a perfect example of a coach saying, is he going to get the dot? They're not going to take it away from Schlesinger, will they? But I think he had the dot.
He did have the dot in New York. Yes.
So it's a guy that absolutely knows the system. He's a good fit. To your point, when you bring in a guy, you hope that he can kind of spread the culture and teach the defense.
Bit of a coach on the field,
right? And that's always good, especially at that position. So I think I hate to see Devin. I thought he had a great season last year.
He did.
I hate to see him go, but I think this is kind of a wash. Now look, 6 games, 8 games in, we might look at it saying, "Oh my God, this Williams guy's killing us." I don't know. But right now, at least on the surface, the other thing is, too, you don't know how these moves are going to mesh together, particularly on the offensive line. The one thing that I've always said is that, they're all units and they all play together. But to me, the most important unit, because there's 5 of them, is the offensive line and how they fit together. And there is a symbiotic relationship that goes on there. And it's like an orchestra. And you got to feel for what your guy's going to do in a certain situation. That's going to take time because you're taking all parts that have never been together before and you're mixing them together. So I think there's going to be a learning curve at the offensive line. But by and large, if I'm a quarterback, if I'm Shedeur Sanders on this team and I'm looking at the offensive line today compared to what it was, I think this is a big improvement, at least on paper. But if it doesn't come to fruition, then we're back to square one. But I like all the moves they did. I think I was impressed with how they moved the money, how they, because I've always said we're cash strapped. but somehow, some way.
Yeah. I mean, it did factor in. They were not able to go the distance on Linderbaum, who would have been the best addition.
Agreed.
Because they did. There are limits.
But we still have there's still money left.
Andrew Berry can restructure as many contracts as he wants to open up as much cap space as they need. It just keeps pushing the can down the road, and eventually
there's got to be a sting. I would think.
Well,
but the cap keeps going.
The Browns
up.
have this massive advantage that their owner is willing to kick the can. The only good thing about the owner is he's willing to kick the can down the road longer than any team in the league. The problem is they keep screwing up.
It hasn't worked.
And
at some point, I'm wondering what his threshold for pain is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we've seen with Gilbert that there is a pain threshold that you can
eventually,
reach.
yeah.
And, right now he keeps writing checks. But, if you keep doing the same thing and getting the same results, at some point he's going to say, well, I can't spend my way out of this.
I mean, they have so much dead money on their cap.
At one point, they were paying 5 head coaches.
Yeah, well, that's not even on the cap.
No, I know it's not. But that shows you his threshold for pain.
Right.
It's not right. Get him out.
Yeah.
Well, you're paying 4 head coaches already. Now I'm going to be paying 5.
Yeah.
He just keeps writing the checks. True. And we're very lucky in that regard. Boy, I wish the baseball club's owners had that kind of depth to their pockets, because if that was the case, and it was proven again when I was out there in spring training, and you get to see behind when you walk through the building every single day, all day, and you see room after room of it just filled with people on computers, filled.
Yeah.
And you realize how much goes into it on the behind the scenes and how good they are and how much they get that right. If they had a little bit of money to spend, what a difference that could make. And I think the Browns have it the other way. The Browns have the deep pockets, but not the brain power.
Yeah, right.
And
that's true.
I'd rather have the brain power, because the proof, the Guardians win, and they're doing it with brain power, not wallet power.
Yeah, yes.
And the Browns have all kinds of dollars, and apparently they don't have much in the brains department.
No, definitely not.
Well, you want to talk a little Guardians?
Yes.
Sure.
Please.
Well, we're going to talk a lot of Guardians, so buckle up, guys. Quick reminder, you can follow us on social media, hit the like button, download the WKYC app. There is a QR code that is on your screen that takes you right to the download page starting next Monday. We are from 10 to 11 on the KYC app, 11 to 12 on both the KYC app and on YouTube, and we appreciate everyone who makes these switch with us. Before we get into our player versus player segment, Jose Ramirez was taken out of a spring training game yesterday. He was pinch hit for in the 4th inning. He had a double earlier in the game, sliding into 3rd, injured his shoulder. Stephen Vogt said he jammed his left shoulder and there's some inflammation. He called it a day-to-day situation in the immediate aftermath of yesterday's game. That's according to the beat reporters out there. Tim Stebbins, who was on the show, is whose tweet I'm reading off of here. Are you nervous? Are you worried? Obviously, Jose is an incredible player, their best player. But it sounds not that serious. And maybe
the only reason I'm worried is because the Guardians have been known to be cagey when it comes to injuries and not give you the full picture. Jose Ramirez is probably the most durable baseball player there is. He's been on the injured list once in his career. Once. And I think he missed 3 weeks.
And that's because he has this crazy ability to play through a broken thumb or whatever it is.
So odds are he's going to be okay, but with the season starting in 9-10 days, any injury, a serious injury to Jose Ramirez, and the Guardians got no shot. None. He's that important to this team because of the deficiencies in the lineup and the unproven guys in the lineup. You have to have Jose. He's carried this lineup for the last 5 years, and he will have to continue to do so this year if they're going to be a legit contender. So, I don't know. Until I know for sure he's okay and out there playing, I'm going to be nervous.
Yeah, I am nervous. I wasn't going to say this on the show until the injury happened. And, God, I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong a million times. This will be 1,000,001. And I really hope I'm wrong on this one. But I told our producer, photographer during spring training that I'm just a tad concerned with Jose. I felt like I wasn't watching the same Jose Ramirez that I've seen
before this
even at other spring trainings. Because there have been other times at spring training where I'm like, he's lacking a little pop. I'm a little concerned. He doesn't look like he's the same guy. This could be a mental trick that I'm playing on myself, because he's getting up there in age. He's been around for 13, what is this? This is going to be his 12th, 13th season, something like that?
I can't
14?
remember. Yeah, something like that.
So I know there's a natural regression that just happens with age.
Yeah.
And so it could be a mental
Yeah, I mean, there
trick
was
I'm
no
playing on
sign
myself.
of it last year.
None. But I will say, I watched him take batting practice 4 or 5 times. I watched him in games. I can't put my finger on it. I really can't. I wish I could be more definitive on it. He just didn't quite look like the same Jose Ramirez.
You don't need to hear this, Jay.
I know we don't.
We cannot have this.
I know. I know we can't.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like it either.
Freaking everybody out
listen,
right now.
I'm not predicting his demise. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little regression in the productivity. Now watch, you'll hit 11 home runs in April. Please, I hope you do.
I'm going to say you're wrong, and I know you want to be wrong.
I want to be wrong.
I think he's
I want to be wrong. But my eye
fine.
test tells me that, and again, it's really difficult to quantify. This is where I think the gut and the eyes come in baseball. You know, everything is numbered.
Right.
They'll tell you what's his launch angle. Is it the same? What's his exit velo? Which he's never been really great on exit velo. He hasn't. But I didn't see the usual pop that I saw even in batting practice. He has hit a couple home runs this spring.
The one thing I'll say, who knows? Maybe, he's so many years in, as you say. Maybe there was something where you were there where he was working on something specific.
Maybe.
Yeah. Who knows?
I hope that's the case. The other thing, too, is this is his 14th spring training.
Yeah, right.
I mean, my goodness. I watch these guys, and I watch how they work, and I just ask myself, how do you do this?
Oh,
year after year after year. You're in spring training. There's 30 of these. And then you're going to go play 162 that count. And then, if you're lucky, you get to play the post. Like, the stamina and the energy that takes makes me tired thinking about it.
Yeah, I think
maybe he's just kind of like, first of all, no one has looked more nonchalant playing the sport at a high level than this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
He just saunters out there like it's a picnic.
It's funny. I think if you're not a diehard baseball fan, everybody's like, well, baseball's not as the athletes aren't as great as football and basketball, which is true. Which is true.
Fair.
But and in an individual game basis, obviously basketball and football take way more athletic ability than baseball, but they're not playing the amount of games. Baseball wears you down from its length, not from one individual game like football and basketball do.
For every NBA,
playing that many games is just
for every NFL game, Major League Baseball players play 10.
Yeah, right.
And for every NBA game, Major League Baseball players play 2. So I mean, and so maybe he's just kind of out there doing his thing. And it looks different to me because it's not what I'm used to seeing. And when the lights come on, he's never been a guy that when the stage gets big, he gets better. He hasn't been that guy.
Well, earlier in his career he was.
Well, he's never really been a great playoff guy.
He was. I think
he's had moments, Bull. But if you look at his body of work in the playoffs, it's underwhelming.
Earlier in his career, I disagree. Last few
numbers,
years,
Mikey.
But the last few years he's been awful.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd say in general.
Early in his career, if you look at some of the series he had in 2016 and 2017,
he had moments.
Some good numbers.
I agree. I don't want to disparage him all the way around.
But he's been terrible in the playoffs in recent years.
If we get 280, 30,
Yeah.
And I would expect 100 this year just because I do think they're going to get on base more ahead of him.
I mean, his RBI numbers are usually lower because of what's around them.
Right, but I expect that to be better this year. Here's another reason why I am worried about the shoulder. The Guardians are playing this crazy game of, I don't want to call it whack-a-mole, but it's almost like they're moving chess pieces because of defensive deficiencies. If his right arm is a problem, he can't play third base.
Right, then you have to DH.
And you know what that means. Now you're moving another defensively deficient player either to the bench or to an outfield position.
Well, yeah, if he had a DH, that's bad because
it's bad.
You could argue Manzardo and
where are you going to put Manzardo?
And Hoskins are their next two best hitters.
And where do they go?
Right, one of them can't play.
One of them is on the bench.
Right.
And that's why that would worry me.
Platoon.
Yes, that would worry me. And first of all, I mean, I just foresee a platoon situation anyhow. I thought it was a foregone conclusion.
I think Manzardo's going to play every day, and then Hoskins is going to. I think both of them are going to play every day. Manzardo and Hoskins.
I hope they do, but I'm not sure that they're going to.
Well, who else is going to? I think Cave is going to be in the minors.
You do?
Yeah,
Wow, he homered again yesterday.
I know, but so did Hoskins.
Hoskins did as well.
Hoskins, I don't understand how he had to sign a minor league contract.
I don't either.
The guy had one bad month. He was a great player.
Yeah, I'm with
April
you.
and May last year, he was playing like an all-star. He had an awful June, and then he got hurt. And now it's I don't know what happened. He's not that old.
Maybe because the team's lack of movement with the impending work stoppage next year.
I'm assuming, Jay, that it's going to be Valera, Quan in center, DeLauder and right.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Hoskins and Manzardo between first base and DH. Rocchio, Arias, Ramirez. Bo Naylor catching. I think Fry will catch a little bit this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play.
Fry's arm, by the way, looked mid-season form.
Okay, so then.
And he said it feels great.
Honestly, you could platoon. You really even shouldn't start Hedges at this point. He should be your emergency third catcher.
He'll catch Sundays or one day a week.
Right. I would platoon if Fry can catch without a problem, which you're saying he can.
His arm looked great.
I'd platoon Fry and Naylor. Naylor against righties and Fry against lefties. And then you get. I think the only way Kafis is on the team is if they move on from Nolan Jones. But I don't think they're going to do that.
It's time.
I think it's time too, but I don't think they're going to do it, at least initially. So I think the bench will be Schneeman, Nolan Jones, Angel Martinez, and then
Schneeman looks like, Schneeman last year looked like Dustin Fox looks right now. Schneeman this year looks like Dustin Fox looked when he was in the NFL.
He bulked up.
My God.
Yeah.
20 pounds.
Well, he's going to be on the team. He
is definitely going to be on the team.
He did a good job as the utility guy.
Well, and he can play third too. So
Right.
if Hosey does have a problem throwing the baseball,
Right.
Schneeman looks
hopefully.
great
we
at third
need
base.
him playing third.
The ball sounds different off Schneeman's bat.
Yeah.
Rocchio looks bigger. Manzardo looks bigger.
Yeah.
I talked to the front office folks. They said it was most of these guys did it on their own, but he said there was an organizational push for them to get
Now's
bigger.
the time. Like Naylor, Rocchio, and Arias, this is it. Last round.
Bull,
they got to hit this year.
I'm gonna make a prediction. By June 1, whoever is producing the least between Rocchio and Arias is moved.
And
Bazana comes up and plays second. And
the other plays short.
The winner of this little mini
Right.
2-month competition to stay in a Guardians uniform will stay
and
at short.
if they're both doing great, good problem to have.
Yeah,
But
if they're both doing great, I want to see Bazana.
He's playing well, all these other guys are in the big leagues.
Yes, it's
time.
time.
You got to see it.
And he's looked good. He looked good for Australia in the World Baseball Classic.
And the ball's coming off his bat really well in spring training.
But this season is a big roll of the dice, and here's what I mean by that. They're bringing all these kids up. And we're hoping that they all deliver.
Yeah.
But the odds are against all of them hitting.
Yeah.
You might get something out of DeLauder, but not Valera. Valera's got a calf now.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
right.
Man, he's so easy to root for.
That's true. If he starts on the injured list, then Kafis is definitely
yes. But
DeLauder is the key because he's the best. Besides maybe Bazana, he and Bazana neck and neck. They're the best prospects on the team.
Do you trust Austin Hedges? I know you don't like him as a hitter.
Yeah.
But his baseball knowledge.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
He's going to be a manager.
100%.
I asked Austin Hedges, what is DeLauder's ceiling?
Yeah.
He almost knocked me over with his answer. MVP.
Yeah,
and without hesitation, I said, wait a minute, what? He goes, oh, this kid's different.
He's unbelievable.
Wow.
He is different. It's easy for him. It sounds different off his bat. His confidence. And one of the things that all of the guys mentioned about DeLauder was the mill that he was put through last October. He was in Arizona rehabbing a broken wrist. He thought his season was over. He gets a phone call. Come up to the majors. You're going to make your debut.
Yeah.
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
The very first ball hit to him, I think it was the first inning.
Yeah.
He drops it.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, my God, this is disastrous.
Yeah,
this is his major league debut. And by the way, not that this could be ironic or not, but Larry Doby, when he was called up to the major leagues, much different circumstances, although pressure.
Yeah.
He was the first black American leaguer.
Yes.
First ball hit to him in center field, dropped it.
I did not know that.
Went on to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying DeLauder's going to be a Hall of Famer,
but you don't call a guy.
He had a home run in the series that was meaningful.
Wow. Right. You don't call a guy up in that situation unless you think he's a special person and player.
But he passed that test.
Yeah, and I think, obviously we know he has not been able to stay healthy.
I know.
He's played essentially 1 year of baseball over a 3-year stretch.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's ever played more than 60 games in a season.
Really?
But if he could stay healthy, he could be their second best hitter this year.
Yeah.
But,
So it's a big roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Can he stay healthy? Can Valera stay healthy?
You know, if everything goes well for the offense could turn out to be really good, but it could also be horrible. I mean,
no, you're right.
It could be most likely it's going to be somewhere in between. There's no way all the rookies are going to hit, and there's no way they're all not going to hit.
You're right.
Well, I don't think
I know
so.
you want to move on to the player comparisons,
Yeah.
and that's great. I want to ask one thing. Who's your fifth starter?
No, don't ask that. No, it's gonna answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Logan Allen got ripped pretty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cantillo to me is he was my guy that's going to have a special year.
Oh, okay.
So he's definitely in the rotation for
Parker
me.
Messick looks good.
Maybe they put Messick instead of Allen.
Ah, dang.
I know Cantillo has not been great in spring training.
Has not. No, but I think those guys are working on certain things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dustin.
Yeah.
What's up? Just want to say hi real quick.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Glad you're still here.
I mean,
for more Guardians talk.
I'm in between these
Look,
guys.
he loves tennis.
Yeah.
I'm like this.
And so now
Yeah,
you're
he's
watching a
back and
tennis
forth.
match.
If you could do a 10-minute tennis breakdown segment for Dustin, he can talk when Jay and I don't have to say anything.
there was a
He-
hell
he
of
will.
a center
But
and
we-
Medvedev match last
you know.
night. Final.
The man
Great.
knows the sport.
The beauty is, Dustin, you're going to be the tiebreaker on a couple of these for the
Okay,
next
we
ones.
playing,
'Cause I've gotten the answers from Jay and
match
Bull, and
tiebreaker
they
or
agree
set
on a few,
tiebreaker?
disagree. So you'll be the
Set to start,
tiebreaker
okay.
here. If you want more Guardians talk that's not on UCSS, Bull and Zach are doing an Ultimate Guardian show this week, Wednesday, right, Bull?
Yes, we're doing 9 a.m. this Wednesday. We'll do a full season preview.
So make sure you guys tune into
Just
that.
1 week before the season.
All right, we're going to do a little this player or that player for the Guardians. The question is, at the end of the 2026 season, when we look back, it'll be who had a better season, player A or player B. It's simple as that. And let's start with two of the candidates for that fifth starter role, Jay Parker Messick and Joey Cantillo. Bull, who do you believe when it's all said and done will have a better 2026 season?
I've been high on Joey Cantillo. I've been talking about him the entire offseason. Whereas it seems like everything the Guardians do offensively backfires. The opposite general happens with the pitching. They are great at developing pitchers, as good if not better than any team in the league. And when this guy came back from the minors at the end of last year, he looked like a completely different pitcher.
He did.
And he's an extremely hard worker. He's a lefty, which I love. He's really talented. I think I didn't realize how talented he was. But he changed his pitch mix in the middle of the season.
That's hard to do, too, by the way.
Yeah. And it worked for him, and I think he's going to have a big-time year. I think he's going to be a starter all season, and I think he's going to pitch to an ERA in the 3.7s, which would be sensational. A good solid these days. You have a 3.7 ERA, that's pretty darn good. Maybe even better. I mean, last year in 95 innings, he was 3.21. Maybe I'm underselling at 3.7.
Yeah, you might be.
Yeah, but I think he's going to have a really, really good year for the Guardians, and I think I like Parker Messick too, but I think Cantillo will be the better of the two.
Yeah, this was tough for me because I like both of them.
Yeah.
When I talk to people, I think this is the case with it's just human nature. When you talk to someone, I think you get a better understanding of, I really like that guy. I like his work ethic. I like his approach. I didn't get a chance to talk to Joey for whatever reason this spring training camp, but I did talk to Parker at length. And I think Parker Messick is poised to have a monster year. Much smaller sample size, but look at his ERA from last year. I like everything about this guy.
Strikeout to walk numbers are really good.
Incredible. I mean, he's almost a K per 9.
Yeah.
A K per inning. He's stout on the lower half. I mean, when he walked in the room, he was wearing shorts, and he's got oak trees for legs.
Yeah.
As a pitcher, and someone who's pitched my whole life, I know how important that is to your upper body health. A lot of guys used to just focus on upper body health, and then at some time around the 80s, maybe Nolan Ryan, whoever it was, they started saying, no, you know what? You stay healthy up top by being strong and stout below the waist. And he is just a thick guy. I think he's going to hold up well. This question strikes at the heart of their strength. They can go 7 deep in the starting pitching rotation.
You could make a good case that Cantillo and Messick are both more talented than Logan Allen, in my opinion.
I agree.
I would like to see them both in the rotation.
I think that might actually be coming.
It could happen.
Because I think it's their success is going to be impossible to ignore. And Logan got lit up yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he probably will start on the roster. And if he doesn't pitch well, there might be a move that has to be made there because these kids are too good to keep in Columbus. I asked this question of Tanner Bybee, and his answer is hilarious. I'll ask you, who's their opening day starter?
I think Gavin Williams.
Gavin.
I kind of
You asked Bybee that?
I did.
Okay.
And he goes, I don't know. And I go, when are they? He goes, I don't know. A voter will probably tell us in a week.
Yeah.
You can kind of get a sense by what you're doing in spring training.
Yeah.
I do think it will be Gavin Williams, and I think he will be the ace.
He pitched the best last year.
You can make a case for Tanner Bybee too. You could. Now Tanner Bybee might get the home opener if it staggers out right. I know they have two stops before they come home this year.
Yep. Home openers against the Cubs.
But Bull, I asked that question because I don't think there's a huge difference between Williams and Bybee. I don't. I think Bybee's going to have his best year ever.
They both should be. They both are capable of being all-star caliber pitchers.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they're clear front of the rotation guys.
Yeah.
The depth in the starting rotation this year, it's almost an embarrassment of riches. A lot of teams break spring training and they know we got 3 that we love.
Yeah.
I think the Guardians are going to have 5 that they love.
Well, and they're going to have to rely on their pitching staff because obviously there's way more question marks in the lineup. So, yeah.
Look at that.
They're upside now. It's good rotation.
It's fantastic. And I do think, and you always hear this, but it's so true. You're going to need more than 6 throughout the course of the season.
These days, especially.
Guys get hurt, particularly early on, even if it's just missing one start. They've got an incredible roster where they can just call a guy up, take a spot start, send a guy back down. I think there's going to be a lot of movement this year between pitchers until they figure out what the best 5 are, but they've got 6 months to do it.
I think the Tigers have a better rotation than the Guardians, but the Guardians have a deeper rotation.
Well,
but definitely.
Yeah, I think it's deeper. They have the better pitcher, for sure.
Well, even, Framber Valdez.
Ace.
Yeah, and even Framber Valdez right now is better than
probably
either of the Guardians'
he is, but
top starters. But
I think that this rotation is going to keep Cleveland in it.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they will. But I would take Messick just because I think he's his numbers last year were incredible.
So
they
one
really
for
were.
Messick, one for Cantillo. Dustin, you're the tiebreaker. Who's going to have a better
Cantillo, Mike. Cantillo.
I would just say Cantillo because I've heard Bull say Cantillo way more than Parker Messick over the last year.
True, he has.
And
I have too.
Doesn't mean I'm going to be right, but.
And I love you, Jay, and I love you, Bull.
Yeah.
We're not. You can pick favorite. It's okay.
It's not a favorite. I just think that
you know more about Cantillo.
In this situation, I think that Bull, because he's not a diehard Guardians fan, will see it more down the middle a little bit.
Perhaps.
And so I'm going to lean with Bull.
They're both Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at them. I love each equal. But the other guy, Slade Ciccone, my conversation with him, he had no idea what his ERA was last year.
Really?
He's like, I never look. And I'm like, how do you even avoid that? He goes, I just don't look. I don't care.
If you had to choose, you'd rather the Guardians win a World Series than the Browns win the Super Bowl.
Right? 100 times over.
Right. Okay, that's what
100 times.
I was pretty
over.
sure about that.
Yeah.
All right, next one, guys. 2 infielders who both said earlier are on their last shot.
Well, in my opinion,
Rocchio,
it's their last shot. I don't know.
Last shot to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Rocchio or Arias? Bo, you went first last time. Jay, you get the first stab at this one.
I'm going to pick Rocchio just because I think he fits the Guardians team mold better than Arias does. I think he's a hard worker. I just can't forget the playoff Rocchio we got 2 years ago. It was mesmerizing how this guy became Mr. October. Mm-hmm. Just had one clutch at-bat after another. It wasn't just a few at-bats. He did it throughout the postseason run. I like him a lot defensively. I think he does have defensive lapses. I think he's got to clean that up. He's got to clean his base running up a little bit. But I know it's there, and I know he can do it against the best competition because I saw it in October, and I'm betting on that. Arias' skill set is intoxicating. But he's almost gotten too big to be shortstop. I mentioned all the guys that got big, like in the right way. I don't necessarily think that his body transformation was the right kind of body transformation the Guardians are looking for.
Yeah.
He looks a little
too
heavy,
bulky.
a little too heavy to play shortstop.
Yeah.
And there was a game last Wednesday, I believe, may have been, I think it was Wednesday. He made 2 errors on one play. It would have been the last out of the inning ground ball to him. Bad throw to first. It allowed a run to score. The hitter then was taking second on the bad throw, and the first baseman's throw to Rocchio was one he should have handled, Arias, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And that got away. And then the next hitter, Logan Allen, comes out of the game, who pitched very well. Next hitter hits a home run. Now it's 4-1.
Yeah.
That was the Giants game. So I just see I see more holes in his game and problems in his game than in Rocchio's.
Yeah. I also pick Rocchio. Part of it, too, is, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Arias has been in the big leagues much longer. He has
probably one, I think maybe 1 year
Can you
longer.
look at the plate appearances, Mike, for Arias and Rocchio?
Well,
there a significant
difference?
Right now,
Rocchio spent time in the minor leagues last year.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
he definitely has more at-bats.
But, and I think Rocchio, the only thing I'll say while Mike's looking that up is, are the Guardians telling us anything by the fact that Arias is playing short and Rocchio second when we know Bazan is coming at some point?
I think they did that last year, hoping that Arias was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Because Rocchio wasn't having a great year.
Right.
Bull, the numbers are quite close.
Okay.
Arias, in 4 seasons, has 1,034 plate appearances. Rocchio, in 3 seasons, has 911. 100 difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a significant difference. So we have seen Arias more, but I thought the gap was bigger.
His skill set is more intoxicating than Rocchio's. His arm is unbelievable.
I just think his offensive profile, if you will, like he's so boom or bust, but there's not enough boom.
I know. I agree.
To put up
a lot
with
of
the
swing
bust.
and miss.
Yeah.
A lot of chase that I don't love.
Yeah.
I think Rocchio's got better plate discipline.
I don't love either of them, honestly.
I don't either. My hope is that Bazana hits, and they bring Bazana up, they move Rocchio to short, and they deal Arias for something.
I have more faith in Bo Naylor getting on track than I do either of those guys.
I'm big high on Bo Naylor.
This has got to be his year, too. But anyway, go ahead, Mike, next.
No, Dustin, are you in agreement?
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
All right, we're going to go to one that's a little less direct comparison. Say pitcher versus a position player. At the end of the 2026 season, who will we say had a better year? Kyle Manzardo or Cade Smith?
I mean, that's a really hard question.
This was tough for me, man.
Because how do you compare?
Yeah, I know.
Who had if they both are great.
Yeah. I think both have the potential to be all-stars.
Yeah. I picked Manzardo only because I think they're both going to be great.
Yeah.
And the impact of a hitter being great, I think, is bigger than the impact of a closer being great. So that's ultimately why. I think Manzardo's going to hit over 30 home runs this year. I think he's going to have an OPS over 800 this year. I think he's going to be an absolute stud.
Going to be an all-star?
Yeah.
I think
he'll be in the mix.
I have to think about all the first basemen.
He'll be in the mix.
But he'll play at that
reserve
level to be an all-star.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have a big year. Again, I think Cade Smith's going to be great. But if they're both, like I said, if they're both great, I'll take the impact of the hitter. So if I have to choose, I'm splitting hairs. I'll take Manzardo.
Yeah, we're really close on this because I went the other way, but I thought this was the one that was most difficult for me because it's apples and oranges.
Right.
I mean, you're basically asking, would you rather have a great hitter or would you rather have a great closer? Now, I will say this about Cade Smith. Man, he is one of the more interesting personalities I've ever interviewed in my 40 years of doing
this. In
this.
what way?
Yeah, explain.
Absolutely the thickest skin I've ever seen. Like, I think he's made to be either a field goal kicker or a relief pitcher.
Yeah, right.
He said something during the interview. He goes, I play baseball.
Yeah.
That's not who I am. That doesn't define me. I know who I am, very secure in who I am. And I play baseball because I happen to be good at it. But if I have a bad performance, I don't go into a shell and I don't start second-guessing myself. I got beat. That's sports. You win some, you lose some. You hope to win more than you lose. But, man, it is the absolute perfect attitude. The more I talk to him.
For a closer more than anything.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and then I talked to some other guys about Cade's personality later, and they were like, oh, yeah, that's who he is. He just, it all rolls off his back. He wants to do well.
Yeah.
He also works very, very hard at deficiencies. He goes, I know I do things well, but I don't focus on the things I do well. I'm already good at those. I want to know, where are my weaknesses? Where do I have to get better? Show me someone who wants critique and I'll show you a winner. Show me someone who can't handle critique, and I'll show you a loser.
Yeah, that's right.
And
that's a great attitude.
So I believe that Cade Smith is destined to have a monster year. He had a monster year last year.
he could be as good as any closer in baseball. He's got.
I agree. And I
talent.
didn't realize. I'm trying to think who it was. Either Hedgie or it might have been Cherney told me this. After the suspension, the Guardians had the best bullpen in baseball, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he struggled for the first week.
He did,
and then he was great the rest of the way.
But to think about that, they lost arguably the best closer in the game.
Yeah, and
they still finished with the best bullpen in baseball.
It is pretty.
So
amazing.
just as they have an embarrassment of riches in their starting rotation, they have the same thing in the bullpen. The bullpen is poised to have another big year, but as you know, the most difficult thing to transfer year to year is success in the bullpen.
No doubt. But they have some good depth. I mean, like Pedro Avila, who was good here a couple of years ago, I don't even know if he's going to make the team.
Sharon Armstrong hasn't looked great.
Oh, he hasn't?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen much
I'm a
of
little
him.
concerned about him. He's 34.
He'll make the team, though.
I think
they
he'll
paid
make
him
the
$5
team.
million.
I think he'll make the team, but he's given up a couple home runs.
Yeah, but he's also a veteran.
Yeah.
He may.
Right.
You know, Jay, you pitcher. You're working on stuff.
I know.
Who knows?
I know.
You know.
I get it.
And especially,
have you been pitched?
I have not thrown yet. I start in about a week or two. I'll start. But
have you not pitched because of the
injury,
hip?
right?
No, the hip. I'm clear. I'm good.
That's clear.
I was recently cleared to do whatever I want to do.
Just because it's the time to take off.
Yeah, it's time to start throwing because we're two months out. So
okay.
I start throwing very soon.
What's your season?
May to really November because we go to Fort Myers for the World Series every year.
Not to derail this whole conversation, I'm curious. How many games do you guys end up playing a year?
Usually, all told, playoffs, regular season, and their tournament, probably 30.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm probably throwing 100 innings a year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but
that's great.
I don't know how much longer I can do it.
What's your main pitch?
It used to be a fastball, but now it's a cutter. I throw a lot of off-speed stuff. Curveball, slider, change.
Jay's like Kevin Costner.
I am. Yeah, you know, guys on my old team used to call me Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kenny Rogers.
Do they use you as a starter or relief?
Starter.
Okay, so if you had to come in as a closer for one inning, what would you top out at?
I've done it. I don't love to do it. Oh, you mean MPH?
Yes.
I could probably still hump up and throw high 70s.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Who's the hardest thrower in this league? Is there anybody that throws in the 90s?
No, not up here, but down in the Roy Hobbs.
Is this 50 and over or 55 and over?
Yeah, 50.
Okay.
So there's guys still throwing 90?
No, 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Down in the Roy Hobbs, there's a couple guys from Puerto Rico that I don't. They're freaks of nature.
Play in the big leagues?
Bunch of them, tall and thin, and they can still throw high 80s.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, probably low 90s.
So cool.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. What's next?
All right, next one.
We've had 2 disagreements so far.
Yeah.
I know.
Out of 3.
I know.
But they were close.
Yeah.
Selectively choosing the ones so we're not all in a.
Cade Smith for me, by the way.
Cade
great
Smith.
choice. Siding with Jay there. So
He sold me on the attitude because I now that I play tennis, I'm way more into the mental side of sports.
I do love that. That is impressive.
Isn't it funny? Don't you wish you had that when you were 18?
Inner Game of Tennis. You ever read it?
No.
Read it.
It's all about mental mindset, right?
You can use it for baseball too.
Yeah.
It's all about the mindset, and I love that because you're on an island. And I've been playing a lot more singles tennis.
Yeah.
And these matches dude, it is
1v1.
Unbelievable. The therapy that you have to provide, the negative self-talk, the positive self-talk, all these things. And these closers have to do the exact same thing. So,
What's it called?
The Inner Game of Tennis.
Inner Game of Tennis.
Yeah. Every time you blow a save.
It's been out for like 30 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Every time you blow a save, it's a story.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's a story every time.
Yes, well, especially when you're at that level.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when you're class A and you're blowing saves, it's a headline.
It's a headline.
And so that's
you get way more negative press when you blow it than the positive press when you don't.
You are absolutely because you're expected to do it
more than any other position in baseball.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the superstar hitter failing in the playoffs.
You know how I can always tell a reliever if they've got the right mindset? There's a saying, it's like, well, all outs are created equally, right? I mean, you've heard it. It's like, look, the first 3 are no more difficult than the last 3.
Well,
theoretically,
depends on who you are.
Theoretically, they all should be just as difficult to get. But here's the difference, and the relievers that I think get it understand this. They're leverage outs. In the ninth inning, if you're in, it's a winnable game for the opponent, and not everything is that situation. If you're a starter or whatever, and he does look at it as like, yeah, it's just 3 more outs.
Right.
It's just 3 outs.
Right.
I got to get
the guys who struggle in that role probably don't look at it that way.
They put more pressure on themselves and saying, well, these are the toughest outs to get.
And there's been a lot of relievers over the years who were really good, but you put them in the 9th inning, they couldn't get it done.
I know.
There's a lot of guys that if they blow a save or a couple saves in a row, they're done.
Yes.
Or they lose it and they lose their edge.
Right.
And I believe having the ability to have to be mentally strong to push the last one out and rely on your skill set.
Compartmentalize. It's so hard, man.
It's tough.
You think about it, as a hitter, you're expected to fail 70% of the time.
If you're going to the Hall of Fame, you fail 70% of the time.
Right. But as a closer,
if your closing rate is 70%, you're out of the league.
Yeah.
You're done.
You're not a closer anymore. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right, next one. Jay, you're a starting pitcher. The Guardians have a bunch of starting pitchers. We did mention these two names already, but better 2026 season. Tanner Bybee or Gavin Williams? Dustin, you lead us off on this one.
One more time, sorry.
Gavin Williams or Tanner Bybee?
I will go with Gavin Williams.
Yeah, I'm going Gavin Williams too.
It's a clean sweep. I've always been higher on Gavin Williams than Bybee, although obviously I like them both. Gavin Williams last year in the second half of the season, my biggest complaint with him had been for 2 years that he gets in these spots in the middle of the game where he starts to nibble.
Yep.
And you're like, what is he doing?
He always has a high pitch count.
And he stopped doing that the second half of last year.
Yeah.
He got more aggressive, and it totally changed. You look at those numbers, a 2.20 ERA, his last 10 starts. I mean, I got to get the walks down a little bit, still a little high, but 64 Ks in 57 innings with a 2.20 ERA, that's pretty lights out pitching.
It is. I'm all about pitch count. I think that.
Well, nowadays it's huge.
It is big. I think in the micro, it's very important because you're saving your bullpen. In the macro, it's very important because you can pitch yourself out of your sweet spot in August if you're constantly pitching into the 110s. And today, it's mostly managed. But with a guy like that who has such good stuff, the inclination to keep him in there and let him go because he's built so sturdily, you're like, let him go.
Speaking of the big legs.
Yes, big human being. He's just a massive human being.
Yeah.
He's made a body transformation. I think he looks a little different, more stout, all good.
Yeah. All right, good.
I think Gavin Williams has the ability to win a Cy Young.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be the next in the progression.
I think
Guardians
Bybee does
pitchers
too.
that
I
do
think
it.
they both have that potential.
I
Their upside for
agree.
both guys is Cy Young.
Yeah,
I think.
but with Gavin Williams, I am with you. I do think that he has the ability to be an ace in contention for a Cy Young. He's the kind of guy, but my biggest caveat with him is exactly what you said, Bull. I'm constantly looking up in the fourth inning, and he's at 87 pitches.
But he was better at end of the year.
Now, I think Carl Willis finally got through to him.
Yeah.
Carl Willis finally said, look, you have got to control this. Trust your stuff. Throw strikes. Because I don't know if it's a waning focus, because it always tends to be later in like third, fourth, fifth innings he starts to get into a high pitch count.
Yeah.
Just attack hitters. Try to keep every hitter to a 4-pitch.
Believe in your stuff. You got the stuff.
Throw strikes.
Yeah.
And don't get into these 3-1s, 3-0s. I know that if you're a strikeout pitcher, you're going to get a higher pitch count, but I would love to see him on an average basis get through 6 innings this year.
It's so funny that you say that, Jay, because I was thinking like the teenage versions of you and I would be like, 6 innings. That's
I know.
But nowadays, I was just literally when you said that thinking, if he could average 6 innings a game, that would be amazing.
It'd be perfect. Yeah.
But in this day and age,
that's the game today, and I don't love that, but that's the game.
Like averaging 8 when we were kids.
Yes,
going 6.
I know. Complete games now are almost anomalies. They never happen.
Very rarely.
What's your pitch count?
I once threw 177 pitches in a playoff game, 12 innings.
Oh man!
And they twice tried to pull me in. Both times I said back in the dugout. Oh, I know, but we won the game 4-3.
Does your manager also play?
No, he does not.
Is he an older guy?
He's my cousin. He was the shortstop. I was second baseman at Perkins High School.
Yeah.
We were the double play combo, and we won Little League champiomships together. We won championships at every level together.
Does he not play because is he injured now?
He's not injured. He's only a year older than I am, but he hasn't kept himself in playing shape like I have, and he's 61, I'm 60, and we're playing with guys that are 10 years younger than us.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets a little tricky.
It's 50 and over?
50 and up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the 50s are, some of the guys look.
50s is.
It used to be, when Mike came to our championship game, it was 53 and up.
Yes.
And I felt real comfortable in that because there were no kids. now there's 50-year-olds. Like for the last 2 years, there's been last year was the first year. And there's a noticeable difference. These guys, and there's a 25 and up, a 35, a 45, and then a 50.
Okay.
So, and most teams have teams in each group. So you're just bringing young guys up. So the top teams are bringing up guys that were 49 a year ago.
Your team doesn't have that, or you do?
No, we don't. No, so we're staying this. We're getting older, and everybody else is getting younger, and it's getting harder to compete.
What's the average age on your team?
Probably 57.
Who's the oldest player?
57. We've got a guy that's in his 70s.
No.
Doesn't play much, but when he comes in, he runs well. I call him the eighth wonder of the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's
an
really
attorney,
cool.
still practicing attorney.
Wow.
Great shape. You never know he's that old. But when he comes
crazy.
When he comes in, he typically plays okay.
By the way, it has nothing to do with baseball, but does anybody know the actress named June Squibb?
No.
You got to look her up. She's been in a couple movies recently where she's the star of the movie.
Yeah.
There was a really funny movie where she was in a nursing home. I can't think of the name of it. It was so good. I just looked it up the other day. She's 96 years old. And she's still starring in movies occasionally.
Does she look 96?
I mean, she looks old, but I wouldn't have guessed 9. I would have guessed she was like 80.
80s, yeah.
The older I get, the more I realize that's genetics. You're blessed if these, because I always ask Larry. I go, Larry, what the hell are you doing this? He's like, I just got good genes, I guess. And
part of it. Lifestyle's a big part of it too.
Lifestyle helps, but you can't change your DNA.
No.
And some people just break down early. Some people age differently. But you're right. You can affect it with lifestyle.
Oh, for sure.
All right, I'm making up this next one because you guys agreed on the other two.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to compare.
Well, I want to talk about Bo Naylor just for a second.
I got Bo Naylor in one of these. I'm going to make it
okay.
for Bo Naylor.
Okay.
Well, we'll do that one first. Hoskins or Bo Naylor?
Oh, Bo Naylor.
Bo Naylor.
Hoskins.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow, I'm so high on Bo Naylor.
Yeah, but Hoskins has been an all-star.
I know he has.
I mean, Bo Naylor hasn't done anything.
Bo Naylor's going to be an all-star.
I'm glad.
Do you remember the jump that Josh Naylor had?
Yeah.
Remember, Josh Naylor was just like a guy. But even when he broke his leg,
he was better than Bo.
He was, but look at we probably don't have Bo's stats last year for September, do we?
Just September, I can pull them up. Give me 1 sec.
When he stopped that high leg kick, remember how he was big on it too. Like some guys just go, bring it up, and then he started kind of tapping it. But he used to be a big high leg kick.
Right, I remember.
And I hated it. It slowed everything down, and he eliminated that in September. I think he hit around 280 or 290 in September. Maybe I'm off. I'm just anecdotally, I just remember him. I remember when he stopped doing it, and I remember everything changed for him. And I believe that he's going to do that all year this year, and that's going to carry over to a year-long success. He hit the ball well in the World Baseball Classic.
I got your numbers, Jay.
And I think he's 5 for 10 in spring training. I know it's only 10 at bats.
Go ahead, Mike.
In September, he hit 290 with an 872 OPS, 3 homers, 16 ribs.
I told you carries over.
He looked like a different guy.
It's not even that I think Naylor's going to be that bad, because I do like him more than Rocchio and Arias. I just think people are downplaying how good Rhys Hoskins is based on one bad month and an injury last year.
I'm not. It's
He's
not
not
really
an old
that
guy.
For me, it is the injuries. I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, he's had 2 injuries over the last 3 years that were significant.
And that scares me. Yeah, that would be why I would pick Bo Naylor over Hoskins.
When he's been healthy, he's always hit 25 or more home runs.
Yeah, and let's keep our fingers crossed that he is, because
Look
how good that would fit into this lineup.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Quan or Bybee?
Ooh, wow.
I know
that wasn't on our list.
No, I just made this one up.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, so this is off the top of our heads. You want to
I'll
start?
take Quan. Again, it's hard. Comparing a hitter and a pitcher is really hard, but
it is.
I just love Quan. He's my favorite guy.
I like Quan
outside
too.
of Jose. Quan is my.
Quan had
guy.
a disappointing end to last season.
He did,
and
he did too.
And
his power numbers, I thought he was going to hit 20 home runs.
Yeah, I just don't think he's that type of hitter. I don't think he needs to be that type of hitter. He's just got. They need him to hit 300, and just raise the on base even more, and continue to play and play a strong center field. I know it's going to be an adjustment.
Yeah, I give him so much credit. I wasn't sure how the move happened.
Yeah.
But Chernoff and Antonetti both told me that he came to them.
That's
and
awesome.
You know what? I mean, Voter told me that too.
It's better for the team?
He came to them before spring training and said, if you guys need me in center field, because obviously that opens the corners, which is where they need power. This was the worst outfield I've ever seen in my entire adult life.
Right. Well, the Guardians have the last Guardian outfielder to hit 20 home runs. You know who it is? He's now retired. That's how long ago it's been.
I only know this because you've told us on the show before, Bull.
Yeah.
Brantley?
Brantley.
Oh, my God. That was
2012, I believe, was the last time he hit.
And Bull,
maybe
we're talking
2014.
We're talking about that should be your power plant.
Yeah, I mean, most
you should
teams
get 60 home runs out of your outfield.
Most teams have at least one guy with a 20-homer season, if not more, every year.
Every year.
And so DeLauder, I think it's big because otherwise you're going to have to play DeLauder in center. And he's just more likely to stay healthy playing a corner outfield spot.
Agree. Yeah.
And his bat, the potential of his bat, is so important to this lineup.
Yeah.
So moving Quan to center
and
is
that was
huge.
Quan's, like he all three guys told me that he came to them and said, I'm willing to do this. Now, I think it ups his value too. If when he hits, if he can master center field, he's not going to win a Gold Glove, I don't think,
probably not.
because there's some fantastic defensive center fielders, but he looked a little clunky in center field at times. There was once he kind of lost it in the sun. The ball ended up going over his head. That's a ball that in May he's making look
Get
routine.
it out of the way in spring.
Yeah, get it out of the way. Yeah. It's hard, man. It's difficult switching positions. I know it sounds like, why would it be so much? Well, you're patrolling a lot more area.
Yes.
Left center, right center, and center field. You got to be the fastest guy out there. You got to be able to come in, go back, everything. Where I think playing left field, it's not easy, but it's easier.
No doubt. And yes, he most likely won't be a Gold Glove winner, but he's going to be good.
He'll be good.
He'll be good, and he'll be better than anybody they have.
Yeah, he'll be above average.
They got it gives them the opportunity for DeLauder, Valera, maybe Kafis, to have more at-bats.
Yes.
And you have to have that.
No,
you
I
have
agree.
to have that because those guys have a ton of potential.
What they have for their starting outfield last year? How many home runs did they hit? Minimum.
It was bad. I don't remember.
It was awful.
Who led them in? Who was the outfielder with the most home runs? Schneemann?
No,
last
Quan.
year for the guards, probably Quan. I'm pulling it up
yeah,
right now.
Quan.
Which is 11.
What did he have? 11?
11.
I mean, you just
How many
can't.
Schneemann hit? 8?
Why does ESPN make this so hard to sort? ESPN
Use
says,
Baseball Reference, Mike. It's much better.
But
well,
Schneemann played second.
Schneemann had 12, but he played second. He's listed as
Yeah.
second base. Martinez had 11. Quan had 11.
Yeah, I mean, to have your
Martinez is
outfielder
probably,
with the most home runs
Martinez is
with
another
11.
guy gained 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with him?
Who knows?
Where do
Well,
you put him?
Let's say, so your bench is going to be, Hedges is going to be there.
Yeah.
Fry's going to be there.
Yep.
We'll look at Hoskins, Valera, and DeLauder as starters. So you got 2 more spots between Kafis, Nolan Jones, Martinez, and Schneemann. 2 of those 4, if everybody's healthy. Now, maybe Valera starts the season on IL.
I'm done with
I don't
Nolan
know.
Jones, Bull.
I'm done with Nolan Jones, but
I'm done.
he's out of options, so you'd have to
Well, you just
cut
let
him
him
or
go.
trade him.
You just let him go.
I would do that.
I don't think anybody will even pick him up. I don't.
Even if he's gone, between Schneemann,
Schneemann's making the team.
Martinez,
I don't
and
think
Kafis, I think Kafis is going to start in the minors. Because I think they'd rather him play every day in Columbus than
How are their options? Martinez and
They all
Kafis?
got options.
Do they?
Except for Jones, yeah.
Yeah, Jones is
All right.
out.
Let's wrap up with some super chats
Yeah.
here. Nick Camps, I can't see the full thing. Nick Campanesa says, did you guys see Judkins made comments over the weekend on Twitter about not sharing the load at running back?
Did see that.
That's lame.
I
I don't
didn't
like
see.
that.
What was? I missed that.
His
didn't see
comment
it.
was.
I'm not going to comment on it without hearing it with context.
Yeah, and I just saw it in passing, but it wasn't really so much that. It was somebody had said something about drafting a running back, and he took a swipe at Cleveland fans. Is the tweet that I saw.
I didn't see that.
All right, we'll have to we'll discuss it tomorrow.
get some clarity on that before we have a hot
Yeah,
clarification.
he just said something like, something about y'all want to draft. It was about drafting another running back.
I don't think
He
most
was
fans
replying
want
to somebody
to.
that
I
said
don't think
something
most
about-
fans want to draft Love.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the conversation.
Right,
I think
right.
if he's there and Tate's gone, you probably draft him.
Yeah.
And no second-year running back wants to see his team draft a running back. I get that.
Yeah.
At 6, you're right. But he is coming off a substantial injury, too. So.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, Mike.
Ants, look at it may have been a fake Quinshon because Quinshon hasn't tweeted in a long time.
Right.
Yeah, guys,
check
he
his
hasn't tweeted
replies
since December 16th.
I'm in his replies right now. Yeah, February 15th was his last tweet.
All right, so
Okay,
maybe it's
then- Yeah, maybe it wasn't.
Account?
maybe it's a
I don't
fake Quinshon.
Could have been. Somebody sent it to me.
Maybe I'll look into it. Monty Berry says Tyson was hurt, not benched. Do better, Mike. Sorry about that. And M. Bine says
Yeah, it was a
offensive
rare
lines,
miss by Mike on Cavs.
Only time he'll ever be wrong on the Cavs.
That's not true. I was there yesterday. and
What's
he-
that tackle they said?
All
Elton John?
right, we'll see you in overtime. Talking brackets. Peace.
Elton John.